Alright, welcome everyone to another Eric Flight Adventure. Tonight, we're going to do two things. One, we're going to test what I want to do in the real world, which is a flight from my real-life home base of Plymouth, Massachusetts to New Haven, Connecticut. We have some scenery. I can't remember if it's OrbX or Fly Tampa. I can't remember what company. I've had it for a while. But we'll get to see that scenery. And we're going to try the JP Logistics 152 mod, which I think is the greatest 152 mod out there. It might be the only one left, honestly. That C152X mod or whatever. The developers of that, from what I understand, started with JP Logistics, and they have a great mod for 152. And being a 152 pilot, most of my hours on the 152, it works pretty good. In fact, let me show you some things here. Just move this over where it needs to be. Give me a second here. I'm actually helping them kind of with just ideas. At first it was overpowered and everything, so I kept like testing and testing and testing, and finally this version, which is 0.9.7, they repacked it. So this is my comments on the version behind it, but it's the same thing. The pros, the takeoff, realistic. It's really realistic. The 10, 20, 30 degree flap speeds in the pattern while landing are realistic, and they're around what we, at least what I think, is very lifelike in the real world. The landing and aerodynamic braking is working and more realistic. The aerodynamic braking is like almost like non-existent on Microsoft Flight Simulator, but with this mod, it's actually possible. The dynamics are basically right on or very close. It's probably the best 152 model I've ever flown. So with the mod, if you don't have the mod, it leaves a lot to be desired. Cruise indicated airspeed is a lot better and realistic. It should be about 93, 90 in a calm day. That's typically what I see at like 2,400 RPM. So we're doing that. Some suggestions we still have, which, you know, I don't know if they're going to be able to do it, is to make the sun visors usable. That'd be these things up here. Make the air vents so you can open it up. Probably be this one. I've never seen a vent like this, so I'm wondering how that works, but it's just the way it is. Also, make the doors open and close. Let me turn on closed caption here so everyone can be involved with this. It'd be nice if, honestly, if Asobo would actually do that, but from what I understand, on the beta, they actually allowed that. They had the doors opening and closing, so I don't know. Really big pipe dream here. If you come up with different types of transponders, radios, variations, great. Again, this is a radio stack that is quite common in 152s, but and also designed maybe an IFR model, which is few and far in between. However, in the real world, hello, Complete Freedom, how you doing, bud? Kind of going over this 152 mod a little bit that we're gonna fly tonight. So we're gonna design, hopefully, if they can design an IFR model, which is again pipe dream. But in the real world, I have a 3-ticket raffle for a 150M out of Texas, and if I were to win that, the raffle's in May, I'd probably go down there, visit my brother in Dallas with it, and then fly it back. So I doubt I win, but I got 3 tickets, and we'll see what happens. It's actually IFR certified, so I've never really seen an IFR certified 152, but I figured, hey, what the heck, you know, if it's gonna be for a raffle for a good cause, might as well throw my hat in the ring. So yeah, but all right, cons. These are the cons that I kind of found with it. Fix the night lighting. We're not going to be doing that tonight. So it might not be possible. Try to get that real light switch in here for right now. Asobo. Yeah, the raffle is under... Hey, King Kicker 115. I haven't got to the thank yous yet, but thank you for following me right before the stream. It's great to see you here. And I'm going to also do a shout out to the other 2 people that actually followed me in the past 2 days. So I'll get there. But try to get the transponder light as the last little con to blink when it's on alt. It does blink in the real world about every second, every 1 1/4 second when on and on alt. So they're working on it, and I told them that I would do a test flight as well. So I'm knocking out 2 birds with 1 stone. I'm going to go to New Haven like I would do in the real world on the 152, maybe, I don't know. Might be the 172. And we're going to test cross-country speeds. I have my cross-country planning all done right here in my tablet already with the real world winds aloft. We are going to use Rex Weather Force for real life weather, but we're going to leave during the day. So that's why we're going to do this. But there's all my planning. Should take us about an hour and 41 minutes total flight time. Probably going to overestimate that a little bit because I overestimate my climb to altitude. Fuel required 13.9 gallons. Again, that's including the 0.8 for run-up and the 3 gallons for the extra half hour that VFR requires. Again, the winds are there. I did my wind correction angle. Should be heading about 260 if I calculated that right and if it's realistic on the sim. And the ground speed sucks. Ground speed is 65 going out to New Haven. So it's going to be, you know, an hour and 41 minutes. Getting back, it's supposed to be like maybe 55 minutes or so with the, it'll be more of a tailwind then. But we'll see what happens. I got my Garmin D2 Pilot Watch. We'll use everything I use in real life. Just remind me to start the stopwatch right before I take off, because I always forget that. In the real world, when we take off, this starts automatically, so because it has GPS in it. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to flying the JP Logistics 152. Before I do that, though, again, thank you to King Kicker 115 for following me basically minutes before this broadcast, and also to Quasi Guru, and also Forgive KXI for also following me. That was a day and 2 days ago, so I just wanted to give a shout out there. Without further ado, we'll go to our checklist and get this thing started. And remember, the 152 is what I did basically all my private pilot training and my check rides, so very, very familiar with it. So much so that that carb heat thing probably shouldn't be on, and we almost never use the parking brakes. It's hydraulic. So I already turned on the fuel as well, but it turned itself off, so I'm glad I looked at that again. We're all good. That stuff we do in the pre-flight, and of course we kind of skipped the pre-flight. I will show you the checklist on screen as we go through it. So let me just get that up there. Bam! And this is the real world checklist I use. It's the checkmate ones. They're pretty good. I gotta be honest with you, there's nothing wrong. And then of course you have emergency procedures down here, but you know, never had to use those, thank God. I mean, I have used the checklist for the check ride, but you know, never had to use them in real life. The closest I came was I had carb icing in the 152 over Block Island, and I had to basically just hit the carb heat on, and it cleared it out, thank God, because the engine was sputtering. Well, I should say running rough. It wasn't sputtering. But anyways, we're going to go to the start here. Everything on the left here would be pre-flight, so we're going to pretend we just did that. So seat track, back, locked, making sure the seats are locked. Avionics are off. They are. On the 152, you actually have to twist the knobs yourself. There's no master avionics button. Carb heat's off. Beacon on. Okay, mixture full rich. Throttle slight. We're going to prime it. Usually we do about 3 pumps in the winter, and that'd be this thing right here. So 1, 2, 3. Alright, and you want to do this fast. Brakes are set. Clear prop, master on, mags to start. Here we go. And you can see that even with this mod, they did a really good job of making everything work with the SciTech panels with SPAD.next. So, not so much on the older mod, but now everything kind of works. So, alright, very good. Oil pressure should be in the green. That'd be a thing down here. Very good, it's in the green, so that works great. Lights as required. We'll turn on our landing, taxi, and nav lights at this time. We'll pretend the nav is the ADS-B out. Or it controls it, at least. Mixture is required. We're at 150. We haven't gotten the radio yet, though. Alright, seatbelts harnesses, good. Flaps would be going up. They would be down all the way if you did the pre-flight. Heat vent defrost. Well, it was about 50 degrees here in the Northeast in real life, but now it's probably down to 35, so I'd say, yeah, let's get some heat on. Cabin heat, pull that out. Bam! And, alright, moving on. Avionics on and set, which means we're going to turn on the radios. Turn on the radios. And I'm wondering why it's only showing one of those. Well, that's weird. It wasn't doing that this afternoon, but I guess we'll just go with it. And I still have control of it over here, so as long as it's working here, we should be good. Let's see if it's working, because that looks a little weird to me, and if not, I might have to start SPAD back up. Yeah.
Kilo Papa Yankee, Mike automated weather
well, it is. It's just frozen, but it wasn't doing that this afternoon, so.
216 at 10.
And of course the transponder.
Sky condition clear. Temperature 2C dew point. 1 tree C altimeter 3045.
3045.
Kilo Papa Yankee, Mike automated weather observation 1800 Zulu. Wind 216 at 10. Visibility 9.
Going to 24.
Sky condition clear.
210, right?
Temperature 2C dew point. 1 tree C altimeter 3045.
Okay, it should be about 150 feet MSL, which it shows, so we're doing good there. Now, even though I'm probably not going to do flight following tonight. We will still do VAT Sim tonight, so I have my flight plan ready to go. We just have to connect first. We're going to be C-152. Connect. Flight plan. File flight plan. We'll be going to 4,500 tonight. And making it just over Providence stuff. Like really, really places I fly in the real world. And of course, that's what we're trying to do here. I've never been to New Haven yet, but it's good to practice it in the sim before you do it for real. And I was supposed to fly, I think, the 172 this Saturday for real. So I might actually do this flight on Saturday. Depends on weather and stuff like that. But this and Bridgeport are the last two Connecticut airports on the Long Island side that I have to get to say I've conquered them all. So, all right, avionics on and set. I wish this radio would be working, so I have no clue what's going on with that. But it's working with my radio panel, so I will go with it. 122.8 is the VAT Sim Unicom. Give me a second. There we go. And again, don't pay attention to that, but I have my radio panel here, which will work. I don't know why that's not working, because it usually is. So, alright. Whatever. We'll just go with it. Transponder on squawk. ADSB is on with the nav lights. ADS we already got. Altimeter set. Radio test. I doubt anyone's out there, but let's try it anyways. VAT Sim traffic, November 489 Echo Foxtrot. Radio check, please. If not, we'll go to Boston Project. Just saw them there.
5x5.
Thank you, 9 Echo Foxtrot. Well, I guess someone's out there, so that's awesome. All right, with that, radio's checked. Taxi lights already on. Brakes will test on the way out, and we'll go to 2-4 and perform a run-up because I like to keep it as realistic as possible. Let me just take the checklist off for now so you can see what's going on outside the window. We usually don't park this way in Plymouth, but we're going to go with it. And we're going to go that way to runway 24. Again, real-world weather already loaded. It's clear. It's a nice night, but it's going to be a daytime flight, so that way we can see everything that's going on. So here we go. Brakes are good. Clear on the right. I hope my rudders are working right. They better be working right. I might have to check that out. The SPAD thing is not doing well for me right now. I was there earlier today. I don't know why. Yeah, they're barely moving. So, all right. Well, we'll just go with it. What the heck? Make the best of it. It's probably that my rudders came loose or something. And I have to, let me just try unplugging them and plugging them back in. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll fix it. Maybe it won't. Let's also check and make sure it's on rudder. Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. We'll look right. We'll look left before we cross this runway. So. Uh-oh. Okay, good. I thought it crashed there. Ah! I think it reloaded all the drivers or something. Or a SPAD just went down or something. What's going on there? We might have to reload SPAD, everybody. Just letting you know right now. Fuel's on. Mixture's in. Okay, so what the heck's the problem? I don't know. The rudders are working again. That's cool. Been stolen. Stolen with the VAT Sim. It does take getting used to, but when you're a rural private pilot, it keeps you fresh. Or when you're studying to become a private pilot, you become fresh. 7-year-old on board, everybody. Zach's on board. Hi.
Hi.
I love you. Okay, we're gonna be flying here. Okay, I gotta do all this fun stuff first, though. So, okay, we took down the left. Clear on the right. All right, here we go. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, crossing runway 1533 at Echo, Plymouth, because this is Echo in real life, not Bravo. But we're going to go with it. All right. Hello, 2-year-old on board, too. It's nighttime here. So, what do you mean by stalling? Have you tried VAT Sim? And are you a private pilot? Are you planning on becoming a pilot? Like, what's the story? Hi. Okay, good night. Okay, Maddie, I gotta fly, dear. I love you. Good night. Okay, someone's been talking about sim. So I wish I had a set for you, but you're going to bed soon, so. Not really hearing who's out in the Unicom, but we'll go with it anyways. Okay, this is the run-up spot, so I'm gonna kick it over here. I don't know, these rudders don't seem to be working again. They're definitely not working because they almost have me go off the runway. This is not good. This is not good. This is not making me feel happy. So people, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna exit out of SPAD and I'm gonna restart it. And hopefully everything will work a lot better. However, the rudders are working that way, so I don't get it. I don't know. I won't touch it. I'm not touching anything. We're not gonna touch it. Alright, here we go. Into the wind, sort of. Very good. Let's go to our checklist. Again, sorry about for the difficulties here. Brakes are set. Fuel is on. Trim set for takeoff. It almost is. Here we go. Flight controls. We'll do the box. And also check out the ailerons and stuff like we would do in the real world. We're going to just call it good, free, and correct. Instruments. Turn coordinators in the middle. No flag. Heading coordinator should be about, 220. So about right there. Okay, vertical speed looks good. Altimeter looks good, 150. Horizon looks good. Airspeed looks good. Mixture best power. We're going to leave it there because it's 150 MSL. Primer's in and locked. We will test that in the roll to make sure it's not loose because that'd be bad. Going to 1700. Alright, we're going to test the mags. Right magneto. Good. Back to both. Left. Back to both. Carb heat on. That should go down. Thank you. Vacuum looks good. Amps and volts. Where are you? Oh, yeah. Charging slightly, finally, because it never showed that before in the default model. Oil pressure, oil temperature, which is why I moved that, is in the green. Idling. It's looking pretty good. Excuse me. Carb heat off. That should go up a little bit. And back to 1,000. If there's a problem on the take full mechanical emergency or otherwise, we'll abort, take off, and land directly ahead in the runway. If we're under 850 feet and there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we will land directly ahead. No more than 30 degree turns. Best glide speed in this is 60. Yeah, I almost forgot about that because we're flying 172s. For above 850 feet, there's a problem, mechanical emergency or otherwise, we'll take a turn to the left. Land downwind on the taxiway, the grass, the runway, whatever is available to us. Best glide speed again, 60. So, let's see. Well, there you go. Well, you know, feel free to look at this stream because I'm doing everything just like we would in the 152. So, and been doing it for a while. This is how I was trained. So, pre-takeoff, we're not going to worry about that, but we will worry about strobe lights. I never have strobe lights on my 152s I fly. Okay, clear on the left. Let's go out. And yeah, King Kicker, feel free to ask questions as we do this. There you go. Everything seems to be working now, so I don't get it. Alright, I'm going to stop right here. Look downwind. Base, final. I will look at crosswind if I can crane my head over there. Everything's clear, so let's call it. Plymouth traffic, says in Echo Foxtrot, departing runway 24, departure to the southwest. Plymouth. Not hearing anything, we're good to go. Let's get on the runway. No flaps. Usually take off in the 152. Speeds we're going to be looking for. Rotate at 50, that's VR on the checklist. And we're going to climb at 67, which is VY, which is best climb. And that's when it's just a normal takeoff. So that's stuff, King Kicker, that you can take into account. The 152 at least. And with that, we're good to go. So, stopwatch. Get my stopwatch. There's too many things going on right now. Alright, stopwatch started. Here we go. Down the runway. Rotate at 50. Climb at 67. And I've got my flight log ready to mark times. And we do that to know that we're on course and we're going about how fast we should be. We're going to have the aileron go slightly to the left to be in the wind. I should have already rotated, but that's okay. And we're gonna keep the nose down and up enough to be at 67 the whole time to climb at the best climb. And also keep the heading at 240, which is the my heading. And King Kicker 115, we've all been there. The only reason why I know what I'm doing is because I came a private pilot. When I first started, I was doing virtual airlines, and I kind of understood things, but not totally. So, again, feel free to ask any questions. Complete Freedom knows too, because he's actually trying to get his private. He's getting there. He's doing his cross countries right now. He's still on. So, all right, we're gonna get to about pattern altitude, which is 1,000 feet above the airport elevation. So it's 1,150. And then we're going to take a slight 45-degree turn to the left to get out of here. You notice that I'm looking to the left to make sure that I'm good. There we go. All right, take a look to the left. We're looking good. In real life, there's a noise ordinance. They want you to go out to the power lines. Can you see those people over here? They don't like airplanes going over that mobile park there, so they complain constantly. And the airport was there first, by the way. Just to let everyone know, the airport was there first. So why would you move near an airport if you don't like airplanes? I don't get it. But here where the power lines would be, so we're going to fly out to there, and then we're going to take our turn to the left. We're going to climb at about 75 now. That lowers the nose a little bit, gives you enhanced cooling over the engine, and also better view over the nose. That's what I meant to say. And we're going to 45 degree it to the left here. But looking for traffic wherever we are. So we're on VATSIM and Microsoft Flight Simulator. So if you do want to fly with us tonight, I'm on the East server, and we're just leaving out of Kilo Papa Yankee Mike. Alright, now we don't have to contact anyone because 1, we're VFR. 2, there's only Boston Approach on. And 3, no one else is really on tonight from what I saw. So I'm not going to use flight following. That's basically where you call up Approach and ask them to follow your flight to look out for traffic and stuff like that. But trimming up to be about 75 knot climb here. There we go. Now I can take my hands off because it's kind of stable. And we'll just keep going this way. Then we're going to take a look at our electronic flight bag, which we have in the real world. In this kind of, oh, no GPS signal. That's because I forgot to start the program. It's listening though, so why isn't it working? I don't know, maybe I have it on simulate. Well, it should be working, and if it doesn't, then, oh no, it did now. Alright, so you can see where I am on the plane there. In real life, it's nice to have one of these. I'm going to go slightly to the right. And then the heading, again, according to my planning, should be about 260 once I get on course there with the electronic flight bag. So I'll keep an eye on that, and we'll get back on track here. But we did the 45 degree out to get out of the traffic pattern out of Plymouth. So and this is what it looks like in real life. Cranberry bogs. Yeah. Zach wouldn't know because he hasn't been allowed to fly with me. But someday, Mom will allow you, and then I will be able to fly with my son. I know it's a crime, isn't it? This is Assawamsett Pond, the biggest visual in the area. I already know I'm heading for that because the electronic flight bag says, and also my planning said to go over Assawamsett. So that's where we're going to head first. So, well, that's when you contact people like me and we get on VATSIM together at Plymouth where no one has to bug you because it's non-towered, and we practice King Kicker 115. So feel free to contact me. 3,000 feet, we're going to start leading out the mixture here for maximum RPMs. Looking to my right there slightly. As soon as that RPM goes down a little bit, we're going to put the mixture back in a little bit. Yeah, right about there. Good. We'll leave it leaned out. That's for the proper fuel air mixture. You see that I'm going to Assawamsett Pond there. And I'm going to climb at like 80. So I'm trimming down. And you see that we're about to 80, but then when we get on course, we'll fly 260. It should be, with the wind correction, pretty good. And you're not wasting time. You just need to have a couple lessons. I've helped many people just like you. With the Virtual USA Flying Club, by the way, which should be the banner come over here. Become a member, we'll help you out. So I don't mind going on VATSIM with you at like a non-towered airport and leading you through it. But feel free to watch. And let's see who's online right now. Yeah, no one's online right now, so I can't even get a controller for you. Or else I'd say, hey, let me get some flight follow and show you what that's all about. All right, we're at 3,700. I'm gonna climb it about 500 feet. I thought that was the dog for a second when you kicked my leg. I was like, no, it's the dog. All right, that 122.8, by the way, is what you stay on VATSIM as long as you are not being controlled. But oh, you are? Jeez, I didn't even know. But you should make it a Discord me on Discord. Private message me. We'll make a time and day, and we'll practice. So, yeah, I kind of figured that, but I wasn't sure. So you know what? Message me, and we'll set a time and day, and we'll make it happen, my friend. We'll get you flying in no time, so that way you can take advantage of the events and everything. So you're not the first, and you won't be the last. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll lead you through it. I had one of our members, same as you, really like, oh my God, VATSIM, oh my God. And we basically flew out of Plymouth, and then we went to his home airport, and we practiced there too, because it was non-towered. And then I acted like tower, and you just basically talked to me, and then we answered questions and stuff. And I actually held like a clinic, if you will, on non-towered operations, but we could talk about Class C, B, and Delta, you know. So yeah, just private message me. We'll practice together. So my real world day job is actually a teacher, so I'm used to teaching, just not flying and teaching. And flying I do more for fun, so I do have my private pilot license and know what it's like. Complete freedom, if you're still watching, he knows what it's like to have to contact ATC under stress. But it becomes all, you know, most of it is anticipation on what you know is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, got to keep this thing climbing. Well, there you go. So we could also do that at your airport as well. What is your home airport then? All right, we're almost on course, as seen. Electronic flight bag. We're going to follow that magenta line down. This is almost like the GPS that you'd find in the 172. The 152 is a training aircraft, so there's no GPS in it. So this is what I use to roll, at least. And we'll be heading 260 pretty soon. So, but even flight planning, not that you have to do that. You can just go and do it up. But I have a long, boring video on YouTube, on the Aero Flight YouTube channel for that, if you ever wanted to learn that. But we could just start with communicating with VATSIM and having fun online. Just, like I said, private message me. Alright, first checkpoint, by the way, will be Taunton Airport, which is the closest general aviation airport to my real-life home. And that will be found on our right, but I have to trim down right now and kick this back to 2400. Oh, keep climbing a little bit, though. Taunton will be out there off our right in a second, and then what we're going to do is we're going to get a time check and see how long it took us to get there, and then write that down on our flight log. So, I don't know. That indicator airspeed looks a little fast for 2400, so we'll see. But we'll see if it falls within the requirements there. Also, 260 I think was a little off in the flight planning, but it doesn't have to be totally accurate. Okay, 4,500. Oh God, you got the. I don't know how close you are to the DC Special Flight Rules area, but that's another thing to contend with. I never took the class on that. There's an online class for private pilots before you fly there, but we could just do it up. Just message me. Make it work. Get you flying in no time on events and for fun. But remember this, the more you practice, the better off you are. It's better to make mistakes than not make anything at all. So, all right, we trimmed out at 4,500. Let's take a look outside. That's Taunton Airport right there. I used to live 5 minutes up the road from there. And then I moved out here to Dayton, Massachusetts, somewhere around here. Probably still by that pond. Taunton River coming up. Let's see what else we got here. Taunton Mall. that building right there, that's actually being torn down as we speak, so that's not going to be there anymore. But that is Taunton Airport. They're getting a new terminal in there. Hopefully the management starts running it better, so if I ever buy a plane, I can go there and feel good about it, you know? It'd be nice. But alright, we have about 55 minutes left, so I don't know. I mean, what's going on here? Did I report the... Yeah, I did. So maybe our flight will be a little bit longer. Flight time check of 11 minutes. So here's what we do. We go to our flight log, and we write, it took 11 minutes to get to Taunton. Check mark that. And then we have to adjust all the other times. So I'm going to pick up my tablet here and do that on screen for you. So 11 minutes. 11 plus 18 is 29. That's what we should get there. 29 plus 17 is 39, 46, 59, hour 17, hour 34. So it takes about an hour and 34 minutes if everything is planned out correctly, or around there. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I said. Next checkpoint is Providence, TF Green Airport. So again, we'll be above the class Charlie here, that little big magenta circle there, because the ceiling of that is 4,100. So being at 4,500, you're clear to go over that, no problemo. And Rhode Island's actually where I grew up, so I love flying over Providence. I say it every single time I stream, fly over. So, well, you should be. We're here to help, you know. Just have to find times and days that work. But maybe even this weekend if you wanted to. Again, being a teacher, weekends are usually better than weekday, and except for Saturday. I might be flying Saturday from 12 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, but we could always do something on Sunday, or maybe even Friday night after around 9 o'clock p.m. because I have kids that go to bed. So, but I don't mind helping. Because I was once there too. I had no clue. Even with virtual airlines, like I knew what I was doing only because I checked the tutorials, but it's different when you fly general aviation a little bit. Again, I don't know what's up with the radios, but everything's working here. So on my radio panel, so no clue. All right, and you keep it on visual here. Taunton River there, Providence is out there. The airport is going to be somewhere over here, so we might go to the left a little bit, so it should be about 260. And making our way to New Haven, which has, again, scenery, which is pretty good. I just haven't flown there in a while, so. All right. There's my neighborhood. Taunton River right there. Dayton, Massachusetts out here. I live somewhere around here. Some people call it the boonies. I'm only 5 minutes from a highway, so I don't know what they mean by boonies, but I am in the woods. So. It's a pretty beautiful area to live in. Massachusetts. And this does look very representative of what we see in real life, so. Out there is Fall River, Massachusetts. That's a big city around here. We used to live there too. When I first got married, we got an apartment right around here. We're going to the state where I grew up in. So, trim up a little bit. And I'm not liking that indicator airspeed. I think that's a little too high. So, maybe they have a little tweaking to do still. Yeah, well, you gotta you gotta break it down. I would say do non-towered first, so that way you don't have to worry about a real-life air traffic controller. And then what we'll do is we'll simulate air traffic control at that non-towered airport, so that way you can mess up as many times as you want and not have a problem. And we could even use my Discord if you want for voice. You know what I mean? You don't even have to use VATSIM. We could just be on there, Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer or VATSIM. It doesn't matter. And practice to our heart's content. So keeps me fresh too, relearning, like not relearning, but reviewing things. So over here in real life, over here, there's a World War II Naval Historical Museum, if you will, called Battleship Cove. They have the USS Massachusetts, a Russian sub, an American sub. Actually, I don't know if they have the Russian sub anymore. I don't think they do, now that I think of it. But this is the major bridge. Someday I'm going to take my e-bike and bike from my house all the way down here. They have a bike path here that goes across that bridge and go all the way down to Battleship Cove, so that's pretty cool. So, yeah. First is just worrying about communications and then studying the section a little bit after you get that going on. That's the way I think of it, anyways. That's not terrible indicator speed. Usually it's around 93, 95. So. But alright, we're over Class Charlie right now. Province Rhode Island out there in the distance. I'll start seeing some of the downtown buildings right there. TF Green's right there. So we're following our path right by it. We're parallel of it. I'm going to take another time check and see where we're at and see if this model is pretty worthy of being, at least me calling it the best 152 model out there for any flight sim. I gotta be honest with you. So that mod made a lot of difference. But we shall see. This is Narragansett Bay over here. You got Newport in the distance. Love going there. I flew in there a couple flights ago. Again, all these videos will be on the Eric Flight YouTube channel. Eventually, I'll get them up there. I have like 5 videos to edit. I started editing it again today on my one to Keene, New Hampshire and back in the 152. But I'm trying. It just takes a long time when you have 3 camera views. So complete freedom if you're listening. When you start getting more cameras in the cockpit after you get your private, you're going to be editing more. That's just the long and the short of it right there. So Bristol, Rhode Island over here. Bristol, Warren. And just a really nice area to fly in, honestly. You got, you know, the ocean stuff out there. In the summer, you could go right along the beaches. So I did that last year with some friends of mine. Again, downtown Providence, always a good looking place. I might even be able to get you some real world pictures here if I have them. So let me check. And we'll post them up here. But I'm not sure if they're still in there. Oh, I have some nighttime ones there. That's right, stopped to look at the other ones. Alrighty then. Well, you know what? I'll show you a little video of Providence at nighttime when I was on a cross country from Plymouth to Worcester. I'll show you a video of that. Just give me a second. So this is me in the 152 flying to Worcester, Mass, but I'm passing north of Providence. So this highway will take you down to Providence, and that's Providence right there. It's pretty cool. And yeah, flying at night's awesome. So I'm gonna have to do that again too, even though we have the time change on Sunday. So I could take some of my friends once we're all vaccinated up and fly up there. But it's gonna be cool. Sorry about that. Alright, so we are almost over Providence. Sorry about that. I don't know why Streamlabs is giving me problems. It wasn't giving me problems before, but now it is. And I tried turning down some settings, so we'll see how that works. But the last couple of streams were perfect, so I don't know why that did that. Well, we'll keep on it. So, all right. Give you a good view of TF3, Providence, Kilo, Papa, Victor, Delta. That's the major airport. I can go out of Canada for vacations and stuff. Providence, Rhode Island, there. Little neighborhood in front of that out there. See things over here. And as you see, it's a pretty beautiful area. And there against the bay again. Or Quonset. It's the airport right there. The beaches are down there around the coast there. But Providence will be our next checkpoint. And that's what we will check our time with. Seems to be loading some scenery or something. Trim up just slightly, and I have a total flight time of about 22 minutes so far. So I think we're going a little faster than what I calculated. Hi, you going to bed? Yes? Good night, bud. I love you. And with that, serenity. Yeah, but King Kicker 115, I had a big problem with OBS. When I went to that after I had problems with Streamlabs, so I just turned down settings and it seems to work fine. So I don't know. I'm gonna stick with Streamlabs once again. But I have OBS on backup, but still, it was working fine, and now it's working like poo-poo somewhat again, I guess. No matter what, we're still gonna continue on though. TF3 airport right there, on the right. That looks pretty accurate. It's kind of cool to fly over that airport there. They have a lot of what do you call that? JetBlue, stuff like that coming out of there. But alright, time of 23 minutes. So again, we'll go to our flight log right here. And we'll say 23 minutes. So we're moving faster than what I calculated, which is fine. We do things, that's the outer marker or something at Providence. It's 40, 53, let's see, hour 11. 28. So hey, might mean that it's a shorter flight getting out there. But by hitting these checkpoints, it'll eventually work its way out. And if not, at least we know we're hitting the points that we know of, so that we're on course. The next one is Beach Pond. And that is actually one that is found on the sectional. If you look past Providence here, this little flag means visual checkpoint. So if you say to air traffic control you're over Beach Pond, they're going to know it if you're in a Providence approach or something like that. But that's our next checkpoint as we fly over Providence. We're right about here right now. And that's when we'll take a look for that one. But yeah, Streamlabs was working for me kind of. So and it wasn't working. I mean, it was freezing up really badly for the longest time. And then it started working again. So I don't get it. If I wasn't saving up for a plane, I'd take the money I saved up and go buy a 3090 and get ripped off. Or no kidding. Dude, I can't believe the 3090s. One, not being available because of scalpers, and two, how much scalpers are getting for them. On eBay, I'd say on average, I think they're selling for about $2,100. And I'm talking about the Founders Edition, which retails for like $14.99. So that's a pretty good markup right there. And then I was almost tempted to put a down payment on one at this website that I was going to get them in April, end of March, but that's not guaranteed, so I figured, nah, I'll just wait. I got a 2080. It's not like this should be bad. I think it's more the VRAM than anything, honestly. And I do stream on the same computer, so that does tax it somewhat. But you can see it's working fine now. No clue. All right. This electronic flick back, and yeah, the indicator airspeed's a little fast, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. The other thing I just noticed too is I actually calculated the winds aloft from 10 p.m. on, so that's real time, Eastern Standard Time. So maybe that's why we're going a little faster. I mean, it shouldn't be that much faster, but we shall go with it. Beautiful sights of southern Rhode Island, Quonset out there. We're about Well, I'll tell you what, if I ever get my 3090, be on the lookout, because I might be selling this 2080. It's already earned back all the money I spent on it, because I mine Bitcoin whenever I'm not gaming. And I'm actually saving up for playing that way by investing in Bitcoin and also just mining. So, also making YouTube videos, that helps too. That's what pays for my remote flying. It's not the Eric Flight channel, it's my other YouTube channel. But every source of income helps, you know. 1080s, not that bad still though. I know it's kind of dated, but a lot of people still using their 1080s out there. So, on our right here, I think that's the reservoir. Or no, that might be Beach Pond. Is that Beach Pond? No, it's not. That's the. All right, give me a second. That is. That's the Situate Reservoir, which is the main reservoir of the valley. Drinking water and stuff. Beach Pond is actually up here in the distance. So, we'll have a beach. You can't miss it. That's why they call it Beach Pond. We'll take a look at it as we fly by. So, King Kicker 115, what planes do you usually fly for general aviation? See if anyone's out there of Sim Land. Nope. But they do have an event coming up here in the Northeast. I think it's on Saturday. So, yeah, that's why I fly in real life too. And then I started doing the Diamond 40 Next Gen, and also, what was the other one? It'll come back to me in a second. Oh, the Cirrus, duh. The Cirrus on the simulator, so. But I signed up for some May familiarization flights with a Piper Warrior. So I hope to be flying that after May, beginning of June. Just have to get signed off by my flight school for renting it, and then we should be able to do that too. So, quite interesting. And hopefully pursuing the instrument rating this summer. The 152 and 172 are pretty much flown kind of the same way. The 172 has a little more weight to it. 152 is 2 passengers, very lightweight, but you can't really carry much of anything in it. And even an extra passenger sometimes is taxing. So I kind of fly it by myself. When I take passengers, I usually take the 172P model because it has a 2,400 total weight. Maximum takeoff weight. Gives you about 900 something pounds usable. So 172s, honestly, even though they have 4 seats, in the modern day and age of people and how much we weigh, I'm going to include myself in that. Typically, you can fit about 3 people in there comfortably because if you have full fuel. So, but if you have very lightweight passengers, then you can get away with 4. Or you can just take fuel out of the plane, not fly full fuel. But I try to fly full whenever I fly. So, all right, we are coming up on Beach Pond. It's actually to our left a little bit. We strayed a little off the straight line with GPS, but we're okay still. And it might be this pond right here. Might be mistaken, but we'll take a look as we go by. And that's where GPS helps you. However, in training, I never used any electronics. Just did the traditional way of learning, and it was good. I still carry a paper sectional to this day because technology goes down. You need to learn to do it. And I did test myself earlier this year on that. I just kind of turned the GPS off and said, "All right, you're here. You're flying. Where are you going? What are you doing?" So we did some dead reckoning. Good practice to do. A lot of traffic here tonight. Microsoft Flight Simulator East server. Everything's looking pretty good. All right, I think that is Beach Pond. So when we reach there, we'll get a time check and see where we're at with our whole flight log and times here. this says maneuvering speed of 104. What that means is you don't want to make any abrupt maneuvers if you're above 104 because you could break something on the plate. If it's really smooth out, you can even fly it to the yellow. But I like to stay at the green no matter what, around maneuvering speed. So that's not terrible where it's at right now. Model's pretty good. I thought it would be more about 95. I think it might be overpowered just a little bit, which also might be why our speeds are going a little faster. But it's still a really good mod. They'll tweak it a little bit more and get it going. Ground speed's 99 knots, so I did calculate 65 with the real world winds aloft. What's it saying here for Rex Weather Force? This is Providence winds aloft. We're 4,500, so it's saying 289 and 8. Yeah, so it's not even close to what it's emulated. So that's why we're going a lot faster than what I calculated. That indeed is Beach Pond. This might be the beach. This is the beach somewhere. That's our mission checkpoint to get time on, so. Yep. So GPS just backup. But if you have a sectional, you know, you want to refer to a map of some sort to get checkpoints and check off your times if you're doing a cross country to know that you're on course. Don't always need to do that if you're like local or know where you're going. It's not required or anything. But alright, get pretty good. Also, probably making the return leg back to Plymouth as well, because that's what I do in the real world. Usually I go land, look around the airport a little bit, and then go back. COVID's like putting a damper on things, but I already got one vaccine done. One more to go a week from Friday. And then I gotta wait 2 weeks, and then I'm gonna be pretty good. I'll still be wearing a mask and everything, obviously, but I should be pretty protected from this thing. Hopefully, you would hope. See, I teach students, that's something I want before I return back into a school building. So, which I don't mind, I just want the vaccine first. Alright, Beach Pond, that is indeed it. And, well, if you live near Plymouth, I'd take you up. Alright, about 34 minutes, 35. So let's see what we said. We said 40. Well, the good news is we're running about 6 minutes behind my time, so it's consistent with the amount of time that it's early. So, alright, which means that it's just with the winds aloft that they have from Rex Weather Force, it's being consistent with that instead. So let's see, 107, 115, 105, look through. And just updating my times here. 122, complete freedom, you know what I'm talking about with the updating times if you're still watching. And that's a Beach Pond. I think that's the beach right there, honestly. Still on our way to New Haven, Connecticut. Should be there in about 32 minutes according to my quick back GPS. And our next checkpoint's going to be Norwich, Connecticut. Should be off our right up ahead. Again, things I showed in other streams. There's some casinos up in there kind of cool to look at. Foxwood Casino being one of them. Be up ahead on our left somewhere. So we'll see if we can see it unless we can get sun in. Can't remember what river that's called yet. Because Connecticut's the next one, but we'll be flying on the Connecticut River as well. This looks very much like when you're going out to Connecticut in real life. So. Well, King Kicker, the 115, the other thing you can do is go to the airport and just try to meet some pilots. I mean, honestly, I don't know of many pilots that wouldn't take someone up if they had time and, you know, availability, you know. Just sign a waiver, sign your life away. No, kidding. But, yeah, I'll, like, hang out at the airport, try to meet someone that's a pilot. Heck, I would even say, when I was doing my training, I'd get breakfast at the restaurant in the terminal building, and I'd be studying my private pilot books, and they'd come and say, hey, you're going to become a private pilot, and this and that, and you get to meet people and talk to them. And, yeah, I mean, you can just say, well, I'm hoping to go up sometime, drop a little hint, and then, wouldn't be surprised if someone doesn't eventually say, hey, you want to go up? I'm going up right now, let's go up, you know what I mean? So, but just meet pilots. There's got to be one eventually that would take you up. So, one of the, well, I'm not taking many passengers now until I get the vaccination done and over, because COVID kind of picked up over here. But when I start flying, one of my passengers I take a lot, I'm at the flight school. He was supposed to take his check ride with me, and he just wasn't ready for it. But we still fly. I have to be the pilot in command, but I'll take him up in the 172. He's used to fly the Pipers, and I'll be like, all right, controls are yours as soon as we're stable and cruise, you know? Yeah, meet some pilots. So there's also pilot groups you can go to, you know, contact them, say, hey, you know, I was just wondering if anyone would be interested in taking me up, because I'm really interested in flying and want to know what it's like. It'd be kind of cool to see that. Or you could always go to a flight school and request a discovery flight, which you would pay for. But you could also log that in your logbook, because they let you touch the controls a little bit and everything. And that's how flight schools usually get people in there, because they get you hooked on it and then you want to do it. So, but you can just go for a discovery flight and have some fun. Yeah. Alright, Norwich coming up on our right here. Casino. It's this right here. Now it doesn't look like that in real life. It's like a big tower. And that's Foxwoods Casino. We got Norwich, Connecticut over here. Actually over here. And right across the river, we have Mohegan Sun Casino. So those are two American casinos around here in Connecticut. And I can't wait till everything goes back to normal so that I can actually go there with my wife. Because we used to like going there, even the kids with my in-laws, and actually having a night out. But haven't been able to do that in a while. So, but I'm thinking, as long as my my fellow friends and passengers get vaccinated, think about resuming some flights with some friends and stuff. And I told them that I was like, just get vaccinated, get everything done. We'll still wear masks, but we'll go up for some flights together. So hopefully this summer, you know, I mean, if I start the instrument rating, it's gonna cut into the budget, but we'll see what happens. I haven't been able to fly in like 3 weeks due to weather and family commitments, but hopefully this Saturday I get up there, and whatever money I don't spend, I just save up for the plane, and also in my budget funds to fly. So hopefully this summer I can take some nice longer trip flights, like day flight trip, how am I gonna say this, daytime trip flights out to places like Ticonderoga, New York, stuff like that. It'd be maybe 2 of them. And Martha's Vineyard's been given. I'm gonna go to Martha's Vineyard every summer, so I can take the e-bike there and just bike around the island, which I loved last year. So, all right, our next checkpoint's coming up on our right, towards Connecticut, so we're parallel to that. Take a time on my stopwatch here, my watch. There's Mohegan Sun, which is the other casino. And you have Groton, London, Connecticut, which is my cross-country, one of the destinations. They have a sub-base here, Naval Sam sub-base. And they have a museum there as well. So, again, in non-COVID times, we'll start documenting these places, and it won't just be a flying video, it'll be a flying and doing stuff video, which I would love to do. Eric Flight YouTube channel. That would be awesome. Yeah. King Kicker 115, the founder of the Virtue USA Flying Club, he actually is out of New York, and I might even meet up with him this summer. He's actually a real airline pilot, and he wanted to just go GA because he hasn't flown GA in a while. So I'm like, well, I can fly out to New York to meet you. We can then go down the Skyline route, and he's a CFI and everything, obviously, the airline experience, and he can help me out there and we can experience it together. So we might make a day of that this summer if we can make that happen. So that would be cool. There's other real world pilots, First USA Flying Club, they've been like, oh yeah, let's try to get out there together if we can. So we'll see if we can happen. Norwich, Connecticut, everybody offer, right? It does look very much like that in real life. Casino looks a lot better in real life. I have pictures of that somewhere. I got to, if I get more time to plan my streaming flights, then I'll show you pictures of where we're going in real life. But all right, we got 42 minutes there. Okay, so I'll update my, flight log, which means should be there in about an hour and 17 minutes total. Well, that made the flight certainly shorter than it was supposed to be. King Kicker, if you're still with me, will simulate Class Delta, because that's what New Haven is. VATSIM would basically just say, treat it like it's non-towered because there's no one there. But we will treat it like Class D through the crappy air traffic control system, Microsoft Flight Simulator, if you'd like. And I can kind of talk through it, even though I'm going to type in commands. Connecticut River out there. Again, Groton, London, Connecticut over here. Awesome airport to fly into. The restaurant closed down even before COVID, so I wish they had a restaurant to give me a reason to go there more. But yeah, I'll try to talk you through what I'm going to do. And Delta on the sectional, I don't know if you know what it looks like, but it's a dashed blue line around an airport. That means it's towered and it's Class Delta. So pretty much to fly to a Delta, you have to contact tower. You usually want to check weather first, so we'll be doing that pretty soon. And my next checkpoint's going to be Chester, Connecticut, by the way. Kilo Sierra November Charlie. I actually flew out there in real life. Awesome airport to fly into and have a challenge. The runway was only 50 feet wide, and it's basically surrounded by trees. But of course, I was the idiot that went during gusty winds, but I did it in the 172. I had to go around the first one. Second one, I thought I was going to have to go around, and I was ready to go to Groton. So I was like, trying it one more time, then I'm going to go to Groton if it doesn't happen. And it actually happened, so it was pretty cool. That video is on the Eric Flight YouTube channel. That was from this past summer, so that was one of my accomplishments. And that was the second furthest west I've been. I actually flew to Hartford. That video is not on the Eric Flight YouTube channel yet, but I flew up to Hartford and had fun there, and that's the farthest west I've been. So, on an airplane. Flown by myself. But alright, if you want to write this down, right? Class D air traffic, ATC. Okay? When you're about double the distance away from the airport, from that blue circle, so the blue circle's a radius of 5 nautical miles. When you're another 5 nautical miles out of that circle, that's when you want to contact air traffic control. So say 10 nautical miles out, want to contact tower. We won't worry how you get to tower, because if your flight flag is home, just say 10 nautical miles out, that's about where you want to contact tower. Okay, this is for Class Delta. It's different for Class Charlie, they want 20. Class Bravo, it's, probably 20 also, 20, 25, because they're a little bit more congested, but Class Delta's 10. Let's stick with Class Delta. We're not even close to that yet. We're still 35 nautical miles out, so. And Chester is when we go past the Connecticut River, should be on the other side. So we have some time here. All right, step 1, check ATIS, or weather. Check weather, basically, because it can be an AWOS or ATIS. For New Haven, the ATIS is 133.65, and we'll go over where you find all these things. I mean, I don't know how well you know a sectional, but 133.65 says ATIS right there, Tweed, New Haven on the sectional. Also, go look at the chart supplement, but 133.65. So I'll get that in my radio now, just to anticipate that. And as we get closer, we'll get the ATIS and we'll write that down. I'll show you that on the tablet. And then once you have the weather, then that's when 10 nautical miles out, you contact the tower. And I'll tell you what you say. I might say it a couple times for you too as well, see that there's no air traffic control on tonight. So welcome to the beginning of learning. But I don't mind. Might as well use this opportunity to do a lot here. And I'm not always perfect because I'm a human being, but it's mainly getting down and out what you need to get out of your mouth so they understand where you are and what you're doing. So just know that if you do mess up, it's not like a, oh my God, I messed up, they're going to kill me. It's get the right information out. And if you missed one little thing or two, they're going to ask anyway. So there's no need to sweat bullets if you mess up. That's the biggest thing you have to understand right now. But alright, we'll cross the Connecticut River. Then we'll tune into the ATIS once we cross the river, even though I still have one more checkpoint to look at. And then we'll go over a mock, how do I call up the tower. So, and you can see the Connecticut coast here. Out in the distance, you will see Long Island. I don't know if that's it yet. Yeah, that's it out in the distance there. So someday I want to go out there too to Montauk, right on the edge. But I'll be wearing flotation vest, so that way I'm safe over the water. Because last time I went out there from Block Island, that's when I had the carve ice. And ever since then, if I go over, breathe in your notes, it's all good. Be alright. Everyone messes up. I remember when I did my private, I thought I was good because I did VetSim for a while, and I messed up. The nerves take over, you know. Your teacher writes it out for you, and you say it to him before you actually contact, then you mess it up, and you're like, oh! And he's like, don't worry. And then he just chimes in with what you need. So it's going to take some time to get it down. Knowing where you are is a big part of it. But I can remember here, so I know I'm going to start with the ATIS there. ATIS, I'd say about 20 to 15 nautical miles out. That's when you probably want to start looking at. That's just to give you a time frame. But some places, like what I learned in real life, Danielson, Connecticut has like the worst reception for their weather. So I wouldn't get the weather there until I was about good, oh, I want to say 8 nautical miles out, because it's just that bad in reception. So you never know. Typically Class Delta have a little bit better reception on the radios and stuff for weather. Not that the other ones are bad. It's just Danielson, Connecticut that one time. Alright, let's turn a little bit more on course to the north here. Again, look at my electronic flight bag. That's how I tell. And again, I told you if you look at a sectional, you see how it says ATIS 133.65? The information's right there for ATIS. And then CT is control tower. So we're going to contact tower at 124.8. So you can write down tower, TWR 124.8. And you might see that I already have that on my flight log, which means I planned it appropriately. So that way I have all my frequencies there and I don't have to really look anywhere. That GND is ground. We don't worry about that until we're on the ground, but it's there to switch over for when we have to taxi. So, but we'll take a look at all this as we go. Just go back to the big screen. Alright, we're about to get over that Connecticut River. See, it gets a little hilly around here too. And probably should have got an altitude setting. So let's tune into Chester's radio. Hey, good fixins. Hopefully your sound file comes up pretty soon. Oh, wrong button. Wrong button. Oh. I guess it's not coming up. I might have to manually do it if it doesn't. But we'll see if it does. Good to have you here, good fixins. And if it's not going to do it, I'll do it for you. That's what I'm going to do.
Perhaps a little more room here for the fixins. You know what I'm talking about?
Ooh, we're gonna have a lot of fixins.
You know what it might
so
be?
many fixins up in this mother. You clean those fixins up right now.
Yeah, big boy.
From now on, you gotta clean up your own fixes.
So, welcome, good fixins. I think it's because I had to restart Streamlabs. It's just being a pain in the butt. So. But, we're about to fly over the Connecticut River, so let's dial in here. I'm going to teach King Kicker 115, a fellow Virtue USA Flying Club member, some Class D operations here with air traffic control. So, no one on VATSIM, so I could do this just the way I'm going to do it. So again, going back to what I was saying here. You get your frequencies, ATIS 133.65. We'll switch to that right now and give it a listen.
New Haven Airport information, Kilo 1900 Zulu. Wind 246 at 12. Visibility, niner. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 12. Dew point, 13. Altimeter tree 0.42. Visual runway 20 in use. Landing and departing runway 20. VFR aircraft.
Alright, so you see what I'm writing down here?
All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Kilo.
Alright, so it's Kilo. That's the name of the weather report.
New Haven Airport information.
They're gonna give me the winds now.
1900 Zulu. Wind 246 at 12. Visibility, niner. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 12. Dew point,
Alright,
13.
I'm going to flip back to VATSIM Unicom for a second. So listen, what I did was I took the airport diagram, which I have in my electronic flight bag, and I wrote down all that information here. This is why I'm doing it from here. So the winds are 246 at 12. That's what you see under Kilo. Visibility is 9. Do you see my moving cursor? You might.
Perhaps a little more
clear.
room here for
Well,
the
there you go.
fixins.
Now it's working.
You know what I'm talking about?
Ooh, we're gonna have a lot of
Temperature's
We're
12
gonna have
degrees
so many
Celsius, 13
fixins
degrees,
up
dew
in this
point.
You clean
Altimeter's
those fixins up
3042.
right now.
Yeah, big boy.
So we're gonna
From
set
now on,
that
you gotta clean up
on
your
our
own
altimeter here for the
fixes.
pressure. 3042. That way it looks good. Looks like I have to go up a little bit, so I'll trim up. And then we're expecting runway 20. You want to write that all down so that way you know what you're expecting. And the reason why you want to know it's Kilo is you're going to tell air traffic control that you have Kilo, which means that weather report right there. And we're going to leave that on our tablet and be ready to get down there. We're going to start our descent pretty soon once we hit Chester. And Chester should be that airport right there, in the middle of the trees. So you know what? We're going to start our cruising descent down. Get to the big screen here. We're going to drop the RPM to about 2100. And we're going to make sure we're descending at about 500 feet per minute. We call that a cruising descent. But 2100 RPM is about where we want to be. And if it's not 500, we just trim it to where it is, right about there. And we're going to trim down and lock it down at 500 while still keeping on course there. Alright, so again, all that stuff that I wrote down, you want to have that down. And you get that from the ATIS, hence why you call up outside of the Delta. Now we're going to wait. You know what? We'll call 50 nautical miles out. And we're about 20 nautical miles out. That's where the GPS helps here. I mean, it literally says 20 nautical miles on the top there. But you could also estimate it because, again, the radius of that blue circle is about 5 nautical miles out. So if you do 3 of those, it'll tell you about 15 nautical miles out. And that's what you do when you have a paper section. Okay? So 50 nautical miles out, here's what you're going to write down. Tune into tower frequency, which is 124.8, so I'll get that ready to go. Alright. Tune into tower frequency, and here's what you're going to say. We're going to go New Haven Tower, November 489 or Echo Foxtrot, or whatever your call sign is. Just say that once. And you're going to wait for them to come back to you. You're going to say, November 489 or Echo Foxtrot, New Haven Tower. Go ahead. That means that they have time to listen to you. You always do the cold call first, so that way, if they're overworked and busy with something else, they'll get back to you as soon as they can. You're not allowed in that Delta until they tell you that you're clear to go into the Delta. Okay? So one more time, tune into the tower frequency, and you say, New Haven Tower, November 489er, Echo Foxtrot. And then you're listening for them to come back and say, November 489er, Echo Foxtrot, New Haven Tower. Go ahead. That means that they're ready for whatever you want. So write that down. Let me know when you got that. And then I'm going to tell you what to say after that. They tell you that they're ready for you. 3,000 feet, we have to reach the mixture, by the way. Shrimming down to about 500 feet per minute. All right, you ready? So after they acknowledge you and they say, November 489 Echo Foxtrot, New Haven Tower, go ahead. You're going to say Cessna or whatever aircraft type you have. Cessna, Niner Echo Foxtrot, so we're just going to do the last 3 digits. Type 152. And then you'd say 15 nautical miles northeast with Kilo to land. I'm going to say that one more time. So you'd say Cessna, Niner Echo Foxtrot. The type you don't really have to do. You could just say, I say type 152 so they know what type of airplane you are, so they know what your speed is. So again, Cessna, Niner Echo Foxtrot, type 152, 15 nautical miles northeast with Kilo to land. So you're letting them know who you are. You could do the type of aircraft so they know about how fast you're going to be. I'm going to go forward to the mixture. They're going to know where you are in relation to the airport, 15 nautical miles to the northeast. And they're going to be looking for you on the scope. Okay? And so they also know that you have Kilo, which is all that's the information that you already wrote down. And they know that you want to land, full stop landing. Okay? So what they're going to do is going to look for you on the scope. And they're going to say, Cessna Niner Echo Foxtrot, we're planning for runway 20, by the way. So they're going to say something like this. We're going to pretend. We're going to say, Cessna Niner Echo Foxtrot, set up a left base entry for runway 20, or something like that. And then, so write that down. Cessna Niner Echo Foxtrot, set up a left base for runway 20. That's what we're going to do tonight. Set up a left base, Cessna Niner Echo Foxtrot, set up a left base for runway 20. Let me know when you have that written down. We're at 2,600 right now. Okay. And that means that you're cleared to go in Delta as soon as you read that back, because they have to know that you got that information. So then you're going to say, left base, runway 20, Niner Echo Foxtrot. So that's one more time. It's left base, runway 20, Niner Echo Foxtrot. And that way you're reading back what they told you. And that could be any command they give you, by the way. But we're just going to do that for tonight so you have a basic idea. So now that I got the left base, I'm going to start heading for a left base already. And I'm allowed in that Delta now because they've acknowledged me. They give me commands to enter the airspace, and I'm good. And I read it back. If you didn't read it back, they would just correct you and say, no, Niner Echo Foxtrot, that was, right base, runway 20. But we're doing left base 20, so keep that written down. Okay? So all I have to do now is I just have to fly to a left base. And hopefully you know what a left base is when I'm going to the airport, and I'm fine. The other thing that we want to do, going back to the sectional here. You see that little number there, that 13? That's the MSL altitude at the airport. We want to be 1,000 feet above that when we're in the traffic pattern. All right, so we want to get down to about 1,000 feet right now. We're at 2,000. That's why we started a cruising descent before. We want to be 1,000 feet when we get in there. All right, and again, we're heading on a left base right now for runway 20. So you see this magenta? That's for runway 20. That's why I'm heading slightly like this. I'm going to take a left-hand turn to land. All right, and as we get closer, I'll let you know what the tower's going to say, because they're going to give us clearance to land. We're not allowed to land until they give us clearance to land. So we're just flying the left base, runway 20. We're already in the Delta. Always do the cold call first, though. Especially if it's a flying event and they're really busy. You want to wait for them to get back to you. Now, let's say they didn't answer you right away, right? You waited, like, I don't know, 3 minutes for a response, and they still haven't acknowledged you. Just say the same thing again. Just go New Haven Tower, November 489 Echo Foxtrot. And also notice that I say the full registration, November 489 Echo Foxtrot. We don't abbreviate when we do a cold call or the first call to a new air traffic control frequency, so that way they know what to look for on the screen. So it doesn't say Cessna Echo Foxtrot, it says November 489 Echo Foxtrot, if that makes sense. Alright, as soon as we get down to 1,000 feet, which we're getting to 1,700, we'll look for it. The airport's going to be off here on the coast. I didn't even get a time check on Chester, so we'll just say, hey, whatever, because I know where I'm going. Stop the stopwatch. And we'll discard that information, because I'm pretty good. I know where I'm going, and I got the GPS to help me. But alright, we're also going a little fast. See, I don't like that. I think this is a little overpowered. I mean, I'm going 2,100 feet, and I'm only going descending at 400 feet per minute. So typically, this would be more like maybe 97 at most, but usually stays at 95, 93. So I think it's a little overpowered. We'll see on the way back. So, are there any questions so far, King Kicker? Is there anything I can answer for you? Typically, air traffic control is going to give you the quickest way in, so it'd be a left base to runway 20, which is why I used that for our example tonight. And I think the city of New Haven's loading because my frame rate just went down a little bit. All right, cool. And it's just learning how to anticipate things, you know. That's all it is. So know what they're going to come back with. And that way, you're not going to be frazzled. Okay, let's do it for real now. I'm going to do it really quick on the air traffic control here. So, nearest airport. This is really crappy, but I gave you the actual commands. Alright, I'm going to request a full stop landing. It's going to do it for
New
me.
Haven Tower, Cessna November 489er Echo Foxtrot.
Probably would
is
have called it a
90
little
miles
earlier for
northeast
safety
with Kilo
reasons.
to land.
But
Cessna November 489er Echo Foxtrot,
there you go. I said the same thing.
Fly left base runway 20.
Just double check your altimeter.
0.451246 and 12.
And I'm going to read that back. So I'm going to...
Enter left base runway 20 Cessna 9er Echo Foxtrot.
Alright, just like I made you write down. Maybe not the exact words, but that's it. And now we're just going to worry about left base. Okay, we're getting to 1,000 feet, so I'm going to kick this thing up to about 2,300 when I get there. Okay, about 2,300 right now. We'll trim it so that we're at 1,000. Honestly, the 152 in real life doesn't need a lot of trim, from my experience. You might do it on like a long, when you're at cruise altitude, but good there. Also, make sure you have the mixture fully in when you're going for a landing, unless you're in a high altitude airport. Typically, anything under 3,000 MSL, we put full mixture in. So, I'm getting closer to the airport here. Sorry if it's slow on the frames. I think it's just the city. We're gonna fly right over the city, so don't know if you can see it out there, but yeah, there you go. There's the city. But I gotta fly over the downtown because we'll be on this side of the river. But the airport's right over here. Might also be the scenery, you know. So typically we want to be a little closer to the airport for a left base, but either way, they're just gonna make sure you're there and doing your thing here. As soon as he sees that I'm ready to land, by the way, if I'm on left base and I'm close enough, he might just say, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, clear to land, runway 20, okay? If he doesn't acknowledge your existence for some weird reason, what I would say is I'd say, you know, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, left base, runway 20, so I let him know where I am in the pattern, and then he'd probably see, oh yeah, okay, cool. Cessna Echo Foxtrot, clear to land, runway 20. So what we're looking for here, the next thing to write down is
Cessna 9er Echo Foxtrot, cleared to land runway 20.
And then we're gonna confirm that. We're gonna answer back and just say, cleared to land runway 20, Cessna 9er Echo Foxtrot.
Cleared to land runway 20, Cessna 9er Echo Foxtrot.
All right, so that's the last thing you have to write. Cessna 9er Echo Foxtrot, cleared to land runway 20. That's tower saying that. And then you just read it back. Cleared to land, runway 20, so he knows you got it. And it's all up to you now to just nail the landing. So, all right, we're getting closer now. So, gotta hit the carb heat, which I think is on, right? Yep, okay. Go back to 1,700 in the 152 or 172. And we're going to, once we're at 80 knots, we're going to keep the plane level till it hits about around 80. the white arc and give myself 10 degrees of flaps. Angle down slightly, nose down a little bit, and just let it descend. Airport should be on our left coming up ahead, so I'll keep an eye out for it. I'm way far out on base, by the way. I'm just doing this in anticipation to show you how we do it in the real world. I'm not seeing the airport right now, but it is coming up. It's actually over here, so we do see it. It's right over here. Okay. Now I'm on left base, so I don't mind going a little lower. We should descend typically 500 if we were closer, but that's why I'm going like maybe 200-300, so I make sure I'm at the airport. And if I remember right, this factory building is off to my right if I'm turning into final. So that's definitely the airport though. Okay. Now the 1700, well, carpet, then 1700, level out. That would typically be at beam the numbers of the runway you're landing at. So when you see the 20 on your left, that's when you do that. But I'm doing it, seeing that I'm going left base, I do it in anticipation, seeing that I'm not going to be doing the downwind at all. Now I'm trying to keep the knots, honestly, around 80. So this is playing with me a little bit. So I'll add a little bit more throttle to get it around 75, 80. Okay, while still descending a little bit. Looking on my left here. In real world, you have a better view because you can move your head a little bit more. But okay, when we're on base, we want to go to 1500. And then we're going to add another 10 degrees of flaps. Let's make sure I got 10 more degrees in there. Yep. All right, so that's 20 degrees. Angle down a little bit more. Should be about 70 knots right where we are. Airport's over here on our left. Might be very far out, but it's okay. Because he cleared me already, so I know I'm good to go. I'm the next one to land, no matter what. There's the airport. I'll turn final. When I can visually see that I have to turn, this is the hardest thing to do in the simulation. There's no good peripheral vision. But I don't have to say anything else. I'm good to go. I just have to land the plane. Once you're cleared to land, no other problems. Might be a little bit low here. I'm looking at that glide scope too. Okay, keeping it around 70 knots. If you need to go higher, you come too shallow, just kick in the RPMs a little bit more like I'm doing. Okay, we're going to turn final. For runway 20, turning left, so left base. Sorry if you already know that. Again, that air traffic control thing, it's all about anticipating what they're going to say back to you. We're actually kind of high in the glide scope, but I like to be high rather than low. It's more of a visual thing here. You kind of build this up by practicing landings. I think I did 500 something before I got my private pilot certificate. But I also have family in what is very, very gradual in training. Alright, we don't want to go past 80, so we want to slow this thing down. We have 10 more degrees of flaps here, so what we're going to do is we're going to get to about maybe another couple seconds. Alright, and to slow it down further, we go full flaps, 30 degrees. Just verifying that they're down. Okay, because I can never tell in the simulator, but in the real world you can. We want to land at around 60 knots, so see how that's kind of going down too much? We're going to kick in the throttle a little bit, 60, 65. I'm going to follow it all the way down to runway 20. What you're going to anticipate is getting off the runway first, and then tower's going to tell you to go over the ground, but you want to clear the runway first before you do anything. So, keeping it around 60, that's what I'm looking at, 60 knots. Aiming for the runway at the same time, so I'm glancing back and forth. My eyes are more on the runway than anything though. And, oh, see, we're gaining more speed because we're angling down a little bit more, so let's pull up the throttle. All the way if we have to. Keeping our hand on the throttle in case we have to add a little bit more. There we go, adding a little bit more. As we get near the numbers here, we're going to pull out the throttle. Even out. Here we go. And we're going to flare it. So we're going to pull back on the stick ever so slightly. Let it glide down on the runway. Okay, so
Echo Foxtrot, turn next taxiway.
west ramp is to the right here. I'm going to try to slow down. My rudder doesn't seem to be working that well, but I'm going to go for it anyways. Okay. probably should turn off that right one there. Let's see what's here. No, this is the old runway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and turn on Echo. And I know this because I have my airport diagram ready, by the way, before you do that final landing. And Echo is going to be off my left up ahead. And you'll see a yellow line that will guide you there. So, these planes in the simulator.
Echo Foxtrot, turn next taxiway.
And I will turn next taxiway, but notice I'm not going to say anything. You can say Wilco, 9 Echo Foxtrot, or Roger, 9 Echo Foxtrot, just to let him know that you heard. But seeing them on the Flight Sim Terrible ATC, I'm just going to kind of do getting off the runway first. There you go. Now remember, we're on Echo.
Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, contact ground on 121.7.
Alright, so 121.7 is ground. I'm going to tune that in first. I'm also going to stop the plane. Okay, but before I leave tower, I have to say, contact ground 121.7, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot. So, watch what it says.
Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot,
Yes, I
did
did.
you copy?
I did copy, and I just sent you my reply. Oh, you stupid. You're trying
121.7 for Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot.
So once you exit, clear the runway, get past the whole short line. They'll say where you want to go, or tower will say contact ground on, and then you have to confirm that you know the ground frequency by saying the frequency and say 4 Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot. We're turning to 121.7, even though you can't see it because that's messed up for some reason tonight. And then I'm going to say we're on ground now. All right, write this down. New Haven ground, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, on Echo, requesting taxi to General Aviation Parking. I'm going to say that again. So before I contact them, I'm going to say, New Haven ground, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, on Echo, request taxi to General Aviation Parking. I'm going to say it one more time. New Haven ground, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot at Echo, requesting taxi to General Aviation Parking. Okay? I'm just going to say request taxi to parking on this. But Real Millhouse, how you doing, bud?
New Haven ground, Cessna November 489.
Okay, and they have all the letters messed up in stuff like simulator, so don't pay attention to this.
Cessna November 489 Echo Foxtrot, taxi to General Aviation Parking.
Alright, he just said General Aviation Parking. He didn't even give me taxiways. But what you're going to want to do, typically in the real world, they will give you directions to General Aviation Parking. You see General Aviation Parking up here? Okay, I'm doing well, sir. I'm giving a little micro lesson on ATC here. Let me clear this out here. Okay?
Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, acknowledge last.
So you gotta acknowledge it. Let me acknowledge it, but I'll tell you what's going on here.
Taxiing to General Aviation Parking, Cessna 9 Echo
Alright, flaps up, by the way, carb heat off. Trim set for takeoff. We're good. Alright. So, like I said, let's pretend that ground is now going to get back to me. And so they're going to say, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, New Haven ground, taxi to General Aviation Parking via Echo, Bravo, Charlie, Golf. Alright? And you want to write that down. So they said, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, New Haven ground, taxi to General Aviation Parking via Echo, which is why I wrote E, Bravo, B, Charlie, C, G, ground. And then I have to read that back to him. That's what I just said. I said taxiing General Aviation Parking. To be more realistic, you'd be given a route in real life. So we're going to say Echo, Bravo, Charlie, Golf to General Aviation Parking for Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot. He might not say anything back. He will definitely say something back if you got something wrong on that readback, though. So one more time, you'll say, I'll start all over again. So I just got off the runway. I'll go to ground, and I'll say Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, New Haven ground, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot at Echo, requesting taxi to General Aviation Parking. And then they're going to come back and say, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, taxi to General Aviation Parking via Echo, Bravo, Charlie, Golf. And you're going to write that down. And then you're going to answer back as soon as you have it all written down. You know what you're doing. You're going to say, taxi to General Aviation Parking via Echo, Bravo, Charlie, Golf. And then if they don't say anything, you're free to go. You read it back, and If they don't answer you back, you're good. That's why you might want to wait a second before you do that. All right, I'm done with this terrible air traffic control now. Now, I have my airport diagram, so I'm going to leave that open for you, and you can see how we're going to taxi here. By the way, you also want to look at your checklist to make sure that you do the post-landing, which I already did. Carpet off, flaps up, and trim set for takeoff. And strobes off, too, by the way. We'll turn those off. But here I am going down Bravo. This runway is no longer in use, so they might say cross 14, but seeing that it's not an active runway, I just kind of said Bravo and be done with it. And you're just following the letters all the way back. Okay, but welcome to New Haven, everybody. We're taxiing general aviation parking. Then we'll get set up and ready to go back to Plymouth. So, Rail Millhouse, I'm doing, again, well tonight. I wish my rudders worked a little bit better. I don't know what the story is with them tonight, but they're not working as well as they should. So, pretend that I didn't go off the grass there. Yeah. Don't know what's wrong with that, but we will keep trying our best with them. Alright, now I'm on Charlie, and I'm going to turn right onto Gulf here. To the west ramp, because that's where the general aviation ramp is, basically. And you might see a bunch of aircraft over there. You do. That's why we're going to go over there. So we're going to take a right over here. This is going to Gulf. It's a heavy right, by the way. And seeing that this is some scenery, they actually have Gulf right, which is awesome. Yay. And this is where you'd pull in real life. Alright. So, I hope that helped, King Kicker 115. That's for arriving in a Class Delta. We're going to try to teach you how to get out of a Delta, and then we're going to not worry about it ever again and just fly back to Plymouth. But we can still train, bud. Just contact me on Discord. Again, King Kicker is a Virtue USA Flying Club member, and maybe that's part of the perks, is you get people like me that say, hey, let's set up a day and time, and let's go over this stuff so that you can fly in that sim. Feel good about it. You still won't feel good about the first couple times, though, by the way. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to be on the grass for a little bit. We're just going to pretend I'm on the east ramp. Is it really that bad? Oh, no, I'm not. All right. We're going to keep the engine running, so I'm going to get out of here. But all right. So, King Kicker, let's just check our checklist first for the plane and make sure we're good. Oh, where are you? Right there. All right. So landing, after landing, flaps up. I already did that. Carpet off, strobes off. We're good. All right, securing would be if we're parking for real. We're not going to park, leave the engine on. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to get out of here and go back to Plymouth, okay? So let's pretend that we started the plane up. We're ready to go. The first person we got to contact is ground again. So I am on 121.7. I'm going to check the weather again. All right, so let's do that too. I don't know, what's the ATIS again? It's 133.65, so let's put that in. So the first step is to check ATIS. And you're going to write that down again, okay?
New Haven Airport information, Kilo 1900 Zulu. Wind 105 at 5.
Alright, change.
Visibility, Niner. Sky condition, clear. Temperature, 2. Dew point, 1 tree. Altimeter tree 0.42. Visual runway 20 in use. Landing and departing runway 20. VFR aircraft say direction of flight. All aircraft read back hold short instructions. Advise controller on initial contact. You have Kilo.
Still Kilo, different airport. So that's more Rex Weather Force problem than anything.
New Haven Airport information, Kilo.
We'll write that all down.
Zulu. Wind 105 at 5.
Okay.
New Haven Airport
let's go to
information,
tower.
Kilo
124.8.
Wind
I'll just
105 at
do
5.
it here because this is a bug.
Visibility, Niner. Sky.
Here we go. So we're going to contact ground. 121.7, not tower. So after you get the ATIS, set frequency to ground. And here's what you're going to say. You're going to say, New Haven ground, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, general aviation parking, ready to taxi, VFR, departure to the northeast. I'm going to say that again. You tune the ground, and you say, all right, man, you have a good time. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for tuning in tonight, man. So you're on ground, and you're gonna say New Haven ground, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot at General Aviation parking. Ready to taxi with Kilo, I forgot, with Kilo, VFR to the northeast. So I'll say it one more time. New Haven ground, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot at General Aviation parking with Kilo, ready to taxi, VFR to the northeast. Let me know that you have that. See, they don't have northeast, they just have north, south, east, and west, so I'm just going to say to the east on this. If you need me to say it again, let me know. Oh, that's fine. Dude, we could get you started now, you know what I mean? Alright, so I'm going to do that on Flight Simulator now. I'm just going to say depart to the east, though, because they don't have a northeast option. You want to be more accurate than that in the real world, so here we go.
New Haven ground, Cessna November 489er Echo Foxtrot with Kilo request taxi for takeoff east departure.
Cessna November 489er Echo Foxtrot taxi to and hold short of runway 20.
Alright.
Contact tower on 124.8 when ready.
Now, I'm going to read that, I'm going to acknowledge it right now, but let me tell you what happened
Taxi
in real
to
life.
and hold short runway 20
In real
Cessna
life,
9er Echo Foxtrot.
they're going to give you taxiways to go on to get to runway 20. So I'm going to pretend that I'm ground now. So I just called them up. I said I'm ready to taxi. And they're going to say, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, taxi to runway 20 via Gulf, Charlie, Bravo. Yeah, Gulf, Charlie, Bravo. Okay, so they're going to say, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, taxi to runway 20 via Gulf, Charlie, Bravo. And then you're going to have to read that back to him. You're going to say, Gulf, Charlie, Bravo to runway 20, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot. I want to say that again. So when you ask them to taxi, they're going to come back and say, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, taxi to runway 20 via Gulf, Charlie, Bravo. You're going to write that down, so that way you have it here. And then you're going to call back and you're going to say, Gulf, Charlie, Bravo to runway 20. Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot. Let me know if you need me to say that one more time. Alright, cool. Alright, so now we're cleared to taxi. You want to go via Gulf Charlie Bravo. I'll leave that on the screen in the upper right here. And we're going to taxi out of here. So, here we go. Alright, get my left rudder is not working, which I have to recalibrate or something, but we're just going to go with it. And it kind of is, but it isn't. So, alright, we're on Gulf right now. It's very important to have an airport diagram, which you can find on SkyVector for free, by the way. Alright, we're going to turn left onto Charlie. I'm going to take a look there, make sure we're clear. Which we are. Turning left. We're on our way back to Plymouth, everybody. Now, Charlie's a long one, alright? We're gonna go down Charlie, but we're gonna turn right onto Bravo. Now, these signs would help you, and I'm pretty sure they're kind of realistic, seeing that this is a scenery that you had to buy. Yeah, it says Bravo to the right there, see that? So that's what we look for in the real world. And SimWorld, I mean, that's pretty standard for airports. Okay, that's it's runway 32 ahead, but we want Bravo, so we're going to take it right on the Bravo. Excuse me. Again, this runway, not in use anymore, it's actually closed. So it's going to pretend we're crossing Bravo. But Bravo is what you need to follow now, we're not going Echo. So we're just going to stay on Bravo the whole way down to the beginning of runway 20. Okay. Do a slight left here on to stay on the Bravo. And go all the way down. I also have to update my flight plan for that sim shit. Someone come on. And doing that while you fly here, so that's why I'm a little off center there, but we'll go with it. I'm gonna fly 5,500 feet on the way back. Okay, there we go. Good for that sim. Now, typically, you'd want to do a run-up, at least a quick one on the engine before you leave here, but I'm just going to go with it. because I left the engine on. So I'm anticipating that the engine's working just fine. So yeah, this engine seems a little overpowered, I think, again. So maybe that's with the newest update or something. I don't know, but all right, I'm at the end of Bravo here. So what's going to happen here, my friend? The last couple things we need to do to depart a Class Delta. We want to stop over there. My brakes just aren't working that well. Here we go. Okay. We're here. We're before the hold short line. We're going to make sure everything's good. Okay. And then we're going to tune to the tower frequency, which is 124.8. So let's do that. Okay. All right. I just switched over to tower. Okay. And when I'm at tower, I'm ready to take off basically at this point, okay? So I'm going to contact tower, and I'm going to say, New Haven Tower, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, holding short of runway 20 on Bravo, ready for takeoff, departure to the northeast. I'll say that again. Contact, get the frequency in for tower, and say, New Haven Tower, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, holding short of runway 20 on Bravo, ready for takeoff, departure to the northeast. I'll say it one more time. Tune in to the tower and say New Haven Tower, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, ready for takeoff, holding short runway 20 on Bravo, ready for takeoff. Let me redo that again. Contact tower and say New Haven Tower, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, holding short of runway 20 at Bravo, ready for takeoff, departure to the northeast. Let me know if you got that, bud, because I'm doing this for you tonight. All right, cool. And then the tower's going to come back, and they're going to say something like this. Cessna Echo Foxtrot, cleared for takeoff, runway 20, and they'll probably give you winds and stuff. And they might give you directions. They might say, fly left downwind, fly right downwind, this and that. So, but all right. But again, you're just going to have them answer back. They're going to say, clear for takeoff, runway 20, departure to the northeast is approved. So in other words, we can go to the northeast whenever we're ready. All right? That's what I'm going with right now. But let's see what they say when I ask for takeoff clearance here.
New Haven Tower,
That's okay.
Cessna
I have
November
trouble handwriting
489
too.
Echo
So.
Foxtrot, ready at runway 20 east, departure.
Cessna November 489 Echo Foxtrot cleared for takeoff,
See that?
runway 20 departure
To the east approved.
approved.
So they're saying that you can go to the east when you're ready. All right. Then we're going to read it back. Last thing we're going to do. We're going to say.
Cleared for takeoff, runway 20 Cessna.
That's all you have to
Echo
say.
Foxtrot.
Just clear for takeoff, whatever runway. And Echo Foxtrot means that you understand the directions. Okay. And then we're cleared to go. So let's do this. Runway 20 departure. And we'll be turning to the northeast. I also have to get my electronic flight bag to reverse the route here. So let me do that. Plan. We're gonna load. Okay, maybe not. Let me just do a new one. Of course, you'd want to do this before you cross that line, but that's okay. Okay, create, active. Bam. Also want to point to Plymouth. There we go. Alright. So, still got my airport diagram. Not that I need it much because I'm already at runway 20 on the bottom here. Okay. Flaps are up. Looking pretty good. We're going to rotate at 50. We're going to climb at 67. We get that from our checklist and also the POH, which you get used to that. Alright. We're good to go. And honestly, there's not much more that you have to contact for air traffic control unless they give you a command or something. Okay, we're in the middle, feet on the floor, here we go. Rotate at 50, climb at 67. Try saying that stuff out loud and you'll teach yourself how to anticipate what they're going to say back to you. Rotate, there you go. Little right rudder here for the torque factor. Lower the nose, so we get to 67. A little bit more. There we go. Now I can pull up a little bit. There you go. That's how you take off. On the 172, it could be a little different. Rotation's usually 55, and best climb is typically around 73, 76. It does depend on model. So.
Cessna 9er Echo Foxtrot, continue for its departure. I will contact you next when you leave my airspace.
So he's just gonna let me know when I get out of his airspace. We have to let him know though. Whatever he says, we have to answer back. So.
New Haven Tower Cessna November 489er Echo Foxtrot, continue for east departure.
That's all. Okay. I'm still gonna climb a little bit before I take that turn to the right, but I can go right to the east because he cleared me for that. All right, and then I can turn on Ruby here. That's what he just basically told me. All right, if you're just joining us, by the way, we're flying back to Plymouth, Massachusetts. I've been kind of doing a tutorial on Class D air traffic control here for one of our viewers, but I'm here to help. You know, it's not just about me flying all the time. I'm here to help. It's part of the goals of showing these flights on Twitch, because I know that when I wasn't a private pilot, I didn't get everything. So, all right, we're about 1,000 feet off the ground. I'm going to take a look at the right here, make sure we're clear, rock the wing up a little bit. Good. We're going to turn right for an east departure and turn on course. And I do have my flight log for this section of the flight, so let me get that ready. I also forgot to start my stopwatch, but to work okay. We'll make it happen. Oh. And seeing that we got more of a tailwind, at least I thought we would, with real life winds aloft data, we should be back in Plymouth in about an hour. So we'll see if that happens. I'm climbing at 75 now. I dropped the nose a little bit for enhanced cooling of the engine and better visibility over the nose. My magnetic heading should be about 8.5 once I'm on course. I'm getting that from my planning that I did before starting the flight. So that's a whole other ball game. But you can clearly see we're getting on course here. And it's just the same route in return. So our first checkpoint's going to be Chester. And then Norwich. And then then it's Beach Pond. And then it's Providence. And then Taunton. And then Plymouth. So that's where we're going. Climbing at about 80 is about right now. Just trying to get on course. And then we'll set it to about 80, what did I say? 85 we're heading to stay on course with the wind correction. So, King Kicker 115, I hope that was helpful. Yep, Sunday we actually have an event too, so I don't know. But I'm glad that you could get some of those notes there. And try them out. Try them out in your free time and see what you can do. Get you started. And have a great night. Thanks for tuning in, man. And thank you for following me tonight too, as well. Again, we're climbing to 5,500 feet. And heading towards Chester, Connecticut as we speak. Okay, I think we should turn more on course right about now. Yep, we're right about there, so let's turn to heading up 8.5.
Cessna 9er Echo Foxtrot, you are leaving my airspace. Frequency change approved.
Alright, we want to actually tell them that too.
New Haven Tower Cessna
we're all
November
set with them.
489er Echo Foxtrot,
We're going to go
frequency
to
change.
that Sim Unicom here. And stay there, so. Okay, there's no air traffic control here in the northeast tonight, so we're just going to kind of leave it where it is. My rudder pedals don't seem to be functioning all the way, so I guess I have to restart them, but I'm not going to restart the whole sim right now. So we're just going to deal with it. And we're going to have a good flight back to Plymouth. If anyone else has any questions, please let me know, because I do try to help when I can. Here we go. 8.5. Yeah, that's about on track. We'll check it with our checkpoints here. About 3,000 feet, we'll lean the mixture out, the 152, for maximum RPMs, right about there. Leaning it out, checking that needle on the right there. When it goes down, right about there, we're gonna lean it, we're gonna enrich it just a little bit, keep it there. Climbing to 5,500 feet. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Appreciate everyone coming in for the broadcast tonight. It's been a while, and we're just recreating what I want to do in real life. Basically, if I have the 152, might take it to New Haven. This Saturday, I'm supposed to rent the 172. And it's been a couple weeks due to weather and family commitments, but I might do this in the 172 on Saturday. I don't know. I'm flying from 12 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and trying to build that cross-country time. Should I want to do the instrument rating this summer, I'll have most of the cross-country time done except for the instrument part of it. So, but I'm up to about 170 hours total, which is going pretty well. And whenever we don't fly, I just save some money and put some towards a hopefully future, whatever I just said, the future plane purchase. So either way, typically, wait, I'm gonna lean up the mission a little bit more. Maximum RPMs right about there. The radio isn't really working on the sim tonight. I don't know what's up. I'm using my SciTech radio panel, which is working. So I'm sorry that that's not working. And we're testing the JP Logistics mod of the 152. And it was working better this afternoon than this. So don't know quite what's up with that. But it is a good mod. I think it's something with my SPAD thing with the SciTech and Logitech devices. That's all I can tell you. But we'll keep testing it for them. But it does fly very much like a real-life 152, and I know that because I've done most of my flying in 152s. Did all my private pilot training in a 152. So slow as molasses once you get to the planes, but a really nice solo airplane, if you will. So. Is anyone else out there ever flown a 152 for real? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. If you just want to lurk, that's fine too. No harm, no foul. We're gonna keep climbing 5,500 on our way back to Plymouth, Massachusetts. Alright, our first checkpoint will be Chester, Kilo Sierra November Charlie. I landed there in real life. It was a very good airport for my challenge because it's only 50 feet wide on the runway there. And I had to go around the first time. The second time I did nail it, and that was a good time. Felt very accomplished. If you want to see that flight, it's on my Eric Flight YouTube channel. So check that out if you'd like to. But it's definitely an experience back then, so a little more experience now. But it's those challenges that make you better, you know. Respectfully challenging yourself, because I was ready just to go around the second time and then go to ground if I couldn't nail it. So always have a backup plan and be respectful of your skills. All right, we're on our way. Trimming up, so I have to hold back this back pressure. Right about 80 knots is fine with me. And my data looks pretty good here. Ground speed 93 knots. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. That's pretty cool, actually. Do you actually fly out of Plymouth at all? Because that's where I rent out of all the time. But yeah, Plain Jane's. I don't know if you got to the new terminal building or not. Now it's been built there for about a year and a half or so. But Plain Jane's is still there. Yeah, so they got rid of the old terminal building. And they're going with generic terminal buildings in all of Massachusetts at all general aviation airports. In fact, Taunton's about to get one. They just got approved. But if you go there now, they have a very nice new terminal building. And the restaurant is still Plain Jane's. And they've got actually a better setup. So if you look there, you can actually see the airfield better because they have a better place in the terminal. So you should go there again. The breakfast is a little expensive to my liking, but you go in there for the sights, you know. So, but I fly out of Plymouth all the time. It's my real life home base, and I rent aircraft there. So, yep, Plain Jane's. A little pricey, but you know they've got to pay their bills and. It's the airport, but they do serve a very good breakfast. So I think the last time I went there was pre-COVID, but I had the pastrami sandwich. I forget what they call it. There's some name they gave it, but it's pretty good. Yeah, I know what Kingston is. Oh yeah, I'm in Dighton, by the way. So Yep, you're towards Marshfield. Right? Am I right on that? A little north of Plymouth? I could be wrong about that. I think you're a little north of Plymouth. I've been in Kingston. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so we're locals. But I went to Plymouth because the flight school there. Yep. All right, let's go back to 2,400 RPMs. Here we go, beautiful. Leave this, we'll trim it out. Stay at 5,500 feet. And yeah, you'll get to see Plymouth. Yep. See, I actually just go there because Taunton doesn't have a flight school. Not only that, from what I heard, it's run pretty poorly, but I'm hoping with that new terminal building, like Plymouth has, that management will actually start treating people better. So I don't know, but I'll still be flying out of Plymouth for the near future. So, but welcome to the stream, Elite Wolverine X. And it's always nice to meet a local. So.
I want to do barrel rolls
Oh,
and loop
thank you for following.
all that kind of stuff. We don't do that kind of flying here. It's dangerous and irresponsible.
So yeah, if you ever go to the Plymouth Airport, go to the new terminal building. But the place that I fly out of is Alpha 1 flight school there. And I can rent the 152s and 172s so far. And in May, I'm going to try to get signed off on renting the Piper Warrior, which is going to be kind of cool. It's going to be the first Piper I ever fly. So we'll see how that goes. But the gentleman I actually get taught by is actually a former co-worker. We were both high school teachers. He retired. I'm still teaching. So, yep, Cessna's 152, 172. I trained in the 152, and then I got signed off and been flying the 172s for a little over a year now. So, but this is the 152 you're seeing tonight. And we're coming up on Chester, Connecticut. Right here. Skyhawks are the 172s, yeah. This is the smaller version of it. This is the 152. Alright, first checkpoint's there. That's Chester Airport. That's that 15-foot wide runway I told you about. And check off my time here. I think it's going to be like 11 or 12 minutes, so we're not that far off of my plan. This is getting towards eastern Connecticut now, and across the Connecticut River, which is over here. There you go. So again, this is a very rural airport. This is actually a hill. So when you land in the middle of all these trees. And it's a shorter runway and only 50 feet wide, so you have to really be ready to get down there and get stopped. But landed this way, the second try, and it's been pretty accomplishment for me over the summer. So, all right, back in the plane. We got about 11 and a half minutes in. I said 14, so we're not that far off. I'm knocking stuff off my desk, but that's cool. And this is how we do it in the real world. We planned out all our supposed times we'd get there. I said 14. We're going to write it as 12. And we're going to adjust all our times here. So 21, 27, 35. These are the minutes that I should be at these other checkoff points here. Just to let you know that I am on course. So next checkpoint is Norwich, Connecticut. We should be there in about 9 minutes. So we'll see what happens there. And let's go back to the big screen. But yeah, Skyhawk is the 172. It says the 152 is just the training model. It only has 2 seats like this. You can't carry a lot in it, weight-wise. Typically, when I fly in it solo because it only supports 400 pounds, and that's you have to include the fuel with that. Carries 26 gallons of fuel at 6 pounds per gallon, so that takes up what? 138 pounds of that 400 pounds you're allowed. So that's why you would have to be very skinny 2 people, or me, I'm a little chunky, so usually I fly myself. Or you can take less fuel and get more people in there, but the Cessna 172 is more for extra passengers. It's also a little roomier. You're on this model, you're shoulder to shoulder here, so you better be pretty comfortable with whoever's sitting next to you. And another thing with this JP Logistics model, they let you load a passenger in for graphics if you want. If you just click right here on the radio, you can have a wonderful co-pilot with you. So, but it's literally that close. You'll be shoulder to shoulder in this plane. is a trainer. So. All right, crossing the Connecticut River here. Simulator. Oh yeah, that's what I'm using right now. Yep. I got the, if you look at the panels below, it'll show you the yoke and stuff that I use. The rudder pedals aren't the best because I had to replace my old ones. And then I was going to buy wicked expensive ones, but then I decided against it because there's another model of rudder pedals coming out. But yeah, we have that. We have the radio panel. We have the throttle right here. The switches here. I have the autopilot there, even though it doesn't have autopilot, but it did. We're also going to leave off the mixture for maximum RPMs. I forgot to do that one last time. Right about there. Looks good. And yeah, we look pretty solid here. So, got to turn a little bit more on course to the north here. I might have to recalibrate my rudders. I think that's what my problem is. So, I did something. I disconnected something and I had to reconnect it and it probably threw out the whole thing. So, but yeah, I've been flight simming since I was 18. Which kind of led to my decision when I had the means to do it to go get my private pilot license at age 40. I think that's 40. Give me a second. Yeah, it's 40. So, and I've been a private pilot now for, it'll be 2 years in October. So, COVID kind of dug into everything, but try to fly as much as we can. So, yeah. And I took it really slow because I have a wife and children, and the wife is not really approving of me flying, but she's accepted it. It was before her. She didn't, she knew I liked flight simming, but she didn't think I was actually going to get a certificate, and I did. So, yeah, that's why it took a while for me to get it. But, it's all worth it, like I said. And I do enjoy flying. And I found a way of paying for it, which doesn't do anything. I just fly for fun. Yeah. Won't be for a job. I'm actually a teacher in Massachusetts. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say what town. Seeing that you're a local. But, I teach music and band in a town in Massachusetts. And other than that, I pay for my flying, though, with my other YouTube channel, not the Eric Flight one. That doesn't make me any money. It's more for fun for posting my Rule of Flight. So if you want to check out Rule of Flights, check out Eric Flight on YouTube there. You can see some of the videos of flights out of Plymouth. See what it looks like in the cockpit. But, I was going to say, and I have another YouTube channel that I just kept working on over and over again while I was learning how to fly, and that built up enough income just to pay for flying, so it was pretty cool that I have the means to do that because of that. I worked my butt off to make it happen, but it was worth it. Now, obviously, I still post a couple videos there, here and there, but it's not the Eric Flight channel. I would like to make that a revenue store so I could fly more, but I was able to pay for everything again eventually with all the YouTube stuff I did, so that was awesome. And still continue to do that, so thanks to many viewers like yourselves. So thank you. Nothing with flying, though. It's actually do-it-yourself projects and stuff like that. If I work something on the house, I take an instructional video and use my teaching skills to teach people. And I've saved quite a number of people from, like, for example, when you empty out the oil tank and you have to, like, you have to bleed the air out of it for the fuel when you get refueled. I have a video on that. That's a popular video, a lot of people think, because they're like, oh, dude, you just saved me like hundreds of dollars from a service call. Stuff like that, stuff I can handle. So if it helps me, it helps them, and I can go flying. So it's all good. Works hand in hand. Or doing like installations of headlights in cars, stuff like that. So I don't know, it's kind of random do-it-yourself projects as a homeowner and stuff like that. And I do product reviews as well, so. Alright, we're on our way. Next checkpoint again is going to be Norwich, Connecticut, which will be off our left here. And for Elite Wolverine X, you probably know of Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun, but we'll be coming up on that a little later. But if you got to go to bed, I understand, because it's like 10:54 here. But thank you for tuning in, and thank you for following. Appreciate it, and I hope to see you on a future stream, and check out those videos. You can see what it's like flying out of Plymouth, which is very close to you. So, have a good one. Alrighty then, Norwich, Connecticut, coming up off our left here. should be out over here. Yep, right on this horn right there. And that would be the same. I'm actually thinking that's back here more, but wait, it's a little. There it is right there. So that's Norwich, Connecticut, our next checkpoint. On our way back, you have Groton, New London Airport up there. I went there for one of my cross-country flights. I'm a private pilot. And, yeah, pretty good here. Getting real-world weather, but not real-world time. And, we're making things happen. We should be in Plymouth in about 35 minutes or so. All good. Also, did you notice that the yoke's going the other way? That's kind of weird, but okay. So, I don't know. All types of weird are happening today. As long as I have control of the airplane, I'm going to feel pretty good about this, so. Okay, trim up. Stay at 5,500. We're not doing flight following or anything tonight because, one, no one's on VATSIM to do it, and two, it's just a little easier for me to do it this way. In real life, I would contact for flight following with approach and everything, just to have them keep tabs on me should I have a problem arise. But the radio's not working. For some reason, the display of the radio's not working, but my SciTech radio panel is, so Joe just gonna continue on. Don't know what's going on with that. That is chatter on the intercom frequency of United Airlines 2060. This is online people flying into Boston. So. Trim up a little bit. Turn more on course here. And we just want to keep an eye on where Norwich is and stay next to it. So. They have, again, Groton sub base over here. I think this is it right here. This is a naval sub base. And then Groton, New London Airport out there. Long Island would be in the distance, I believe. Yep. So if you go a little further out there, you got Long Island. Alright, I think we're going to take a time check here pretty soon for Norwich. Yep, something's wrong with my controls, but it's not affecting like how they work a lot, so I'm just going to go with it like I said. But, very indicative of 152 here. I've never seen these little slots on the side though. Ugh, excuse me. Usually there's little pockets in the back of the seats where you have like the POH and stuff. And other than that, it looks pretty good. Alright, we're gonna call it Norwich. I got about 23 minutes. So I'm gonna go to my flight log, like I've showed you before. And I'm gonna write 23 where it says 21.
Delta 413, extended
So.
robot 3 arrival, expect the ILS will
Okay, change this up here. 23. Affect all the other times. That'll be what? 629 plus 8 is 37. 37 plus 9 is 46. 46 plus 7 would be 53. So we should be there in 53 minutes total flight time, according to my calculations. But we're not that far off the original calculations either, so. My electronic flight bag's telling me about 30 minutes out from Plymouth. Our next checkpoint, by the way, is going to be a visual checkpoint on the sectional called Beach Pond. So see where that's going. Trim it down, keep that going there. Now the airspeed's looking a little bit better, the indicator airspeed. A little bit better. At least it was. So I think this might be a little overpowered still on the JP Logistics 152 mod. They're basically taking the original 152 included with the simulator and making it more realistic. So we have a ground speed of 113 knots, so that's not too shabby. And 30 minutes to go. We will cross over Providence, Rhode Island and do all that stuff. But yeah, it doesn't stay. It stays centered even though I'm trying to turn left. So I don't know. There's something wrong with the controls, but we'll keep it going and make it work. Pond will be up here on our right somewhere. And Groton in London over there. And the Connecticut River, Chester was over there. Haven way back there now. So we're definitely on our way. Definitely on our way. And I'm going to take a nice tea break here while we're flying, so go with it.
Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act. Head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up.
Boy, that is weird when the yoke goes the other way, even though I'm going to my left. It's going to the right, even though it's going to the left, so I don't get it. Bet you if I restarted the whole thing, which I'm not going to do, it would be working fine. Very realistic. Again, if you've never flown in real life, this is very much what it looks like. And when I turn to the right, it turns to the left. I don't get it. No clue. Very weird. Alright, let's get a look here at the sectional. So that's where we are. Beach Pond coming up. That'll be our next visual checkpoint. And then we're flying over to Providence. Our next one, Taunton. And then finally making our way back to Plymouth. So that is what we are doing on this flight. Here's Beach Pond. You see the beach right there. So when we're parallel of that, we'll get a time check and put it into our flight log. Usually right about now you can start seeing Providence on a really clear day. So not really in the sim, but in real life you would be able to. If it was clear. Which it is on the sim. I also have some traffic in real life on VATSIM in real life that is off my left. We have a Delta Airlines flight and they're at 37,000 feet. So the only thing you would see on that, if possible, would be some nav lights or something. Probably not going to see it here. All the other, oops. Actually, it's right there. Yep, she's ahead of me. The thing I'm looking at is a little delayed. So that's Delta Airlines flight on VATSIM. All these other people, if you're not used to this, doing stuff like simulated air traffic. So they're not on VATSIM. VATSIM is the online air traffic control that I'm using. But no one's online to give any air traffic control. So we're just going to keep it the way it is. But that's what VATSIM traffic looks like. So if I turned off all the Microsoft Flight Simulator server stuff, that's all you'd see for traffic. Very lifelike, you know. It's very hard to see aircraft in the real world, but you look for navigation lights, stuff like that. So. All right, we're just about over Beach Pond. We got a total flight time of almost 29, 30 minutes. So, oh, excuse me. I said 29 minutes. So yeah, I think that's gonna be about right. Yep, I'll definitely be right. So I'm gonna check it out right now. Is 29 minutes. We should be at Providence in about 8 more minutes. The way we're going. So right near TF Green Airport, Providence, in 8 minutes. Again, if you ever fly for real, fly along the coast here, it's beautiful with the beaches and stuff. But, again, I thought I'd be able to show off this plane a little bit more for you tonight, because it's doing some weird stuff on stream. But it wasn't doing that earlier, so wish I could show it off more. We probably will in the future, but I like flying different aircraft, so we'll see. I kind of want to stream on Saturday if I can, so I'm going to see if we can stream in the VATSIM event there. They're having like a whole Northeast fly-in for Providence, so everything will be staffed there for air traffic control. And it'll be good. Sorry about the yawning. Work today, so a little tired. Wonder what that thing is out there. I don't know. This is Western Rhode Island. We just crossed over. Beach Pond's right on the border, basically, of Rhode Island and Connecticut, and then Providence should be coming up in front of us. And it's actually over there, so we're going to be south of that. Let's turn to the left a little bit to get a little closer to it. To the south here, you got beaches, South Kingstown, stuff like that for Rhode Island. It's not a bad area. Newport's probably the best area, though, if you want like a place to go for nightlife and just tourism and stuff like that in the summers. That has old mansions from the Victorian era, because back then that was like a big place for rich people to go and build a mansion. So they have a bunch that you can go tour and stuff. And I actually got married in one. So my wife attended Salve Regina University there in Newport, and they actually had the music wing, the music department, if you will, in one of the mansions, and then they kicked them out of them later on, but we got to use that for our wedding, so it was a pretty nice place. It's all right there, Newport, Rhode Island. All right, we're on course. Next checkpoint will be Providence TF Green Airport. Coming up. A little bit of haze out there. Yep, almost back at Plymouth, about 23 minutes out. 23 minutes. Narragansett Bay. Again, I kind of feel very lucky to fly in this area, because it is nice. It is getting kind of redundant now, though, because whenever I go to Connecticut or places west, I always see the same area. But I always feel good about flying over Providence, Rhode Island, because again, I grew up in Rhode Island, north of Providence, so always mystifies you when you fly over someplace where you grew up and stuff. Here's the Situate Reservoir. And another thing that was kind of cool was when I flew to my real-life hometown airport from when I was a kid. I don't live in Rhode Island anymore, but I flew into North Central State Airport, and that was kind of cool, because I remember going there as a kid and watching planes. And to land there, I mean, it's not like the world's greatest airport or anything, but to land there was kind of cool just for nostalgia value. So, remember going to Lincoln Mall, and the airport was right around there in Rhode Island, and you'd see the airplanes flying on a Saturday afternoon and stuff. So it was cool. And that being the north part here. So So. But yeah, we have a Virtual USA Flag Club event on Sunday, so I'm hoping to attend that. That's going to be going down to the Chesapeake Bay area. And what we're going to try to do is probably fly either the Cirrus or the Diamond 40 Next Gen from Plymouth, going to JFK as a waypoint, and then heading right south to Chesapeake Bay Regional, I think it's called. I don't remember. But it's down there. And that should be quite an interesting flight. It's going to be a morning flight, so I think I'm going to be drinking coffee that morning. And due to the time change, though, actually we lose an hour. So I just thought about that. We lose an hour, so that's not going to help either. But, oh well. It'll help in the fact that, no, when we lose an hour, it'll feel like earlier. Yeah. See, I'm not thinking straight because it's nighttime right now. Oh my lord. But anyways, I'm going to see if I can make that flight happen. I already checked with the missus, and hopefully I can do that. And on Saturday, I know I said I'd like to stream, but I'm actually flying real life, hopefully, if the weather cooperates, 12 to 5 p.m. It looks decent as of now. It's supposed to be sunny. But the winds are a little up there, so we'll have to see if the winds will cooperate on that day. And we'll go from there. The 152 chugging along. Definitely not the fastest aircraft, but it's very easy to fly. Right out there. Next checkpoint, Narragansett Bay, downtown Providence out here. See the buildings. That's gonna probably be the most expensive airport to land at Rhode Island because they all have landing fees for out-of-state aircraft. So I've done Westerly, which is back here. I've done North Central, which is up north around here, and I also did Newport, which is in the middle, right around here somewhere. So there's not many more airports to visit in Rhode Island to say that I've been to all of them, which would be quite an accomplishment. Another thing that you do as a pilot that flies for fun is just, you know, pick themes and go with it and try to just conquer them, you know? Alrighty then. Looking pretty good. We have a mod with the trees to make them look like autumn, by the way, so that's what you're seeing. It would have snow on it if it was really snowfall here, but pretty accurate with that too. Hasn't been a lot of snowfall here lately, so it does look an awful lot like what it looks like. That would be the Rhode Island Mall, I believe. The old Rhode Island Mall. I don't even know if it's open anymore. Or it could be the Warwick Mall. That might be the Warwick Mall. TF Green, the airport I used to take all my family vacations from when I was a kid. I think we did Boston once, but most of the time we left out of Providence. Again, downtown over there, my old stomping grounds for a gigging musician. My 20s and stuff like that. That's the Warwick Mall. Windmill there. The ACI corrections. Might be this. I can't remember. But, yeah. Alright, we'll get a time check here as we get parallel of the airport here. So far I've got 38. It's probably like end up like 39 or 40. I said 37, so we actually slowed down a little bit, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and be a couple minutes off. You don't want to be like a half hour off, but oh, that rudder pedal is very strong right there. That's the main terminal. It doesn't look very good in the sim, but then you have the train station here. They actually built the train station. That'll take you all the way to Boston if you wanted to. And get downtown Provinces that way. Alright, I think we can call it. We'll say 40 minutes, just to keep it safe here. And that increases our time a little bit, but nothing we can't handle, you know. Okay. Should be there about 56-minute total flight time. Not bad. I know my flight school charges $100 wet for the 152, so it'd probably be about $250 for this whole flight round trip, maybe more, maybe like $300 by the time you're done. That's because you have to count in the time that you do the run-up and stuff, just testing the engine. So, all right, I'm gonna turn on course here. Man, that is weird. The yoke's going the wrong way. It's clearly a calibration thing. I don't think it's affecting actual usage of it too much, but expected more tonight. Expected more downtown over there. All right, next checkpoint will be Taunton Municipal Airport. That'll be the closest general aviation airport to my home in real life. And again, I would love to fly out of there if they actually were better on management and stuff. I've heard horror stories. I mean, I haven't seen them for myself, but hopefully someday. But well, I supposedly joined the Taunton Pilots Association to try to get more of a feel for what's going on there. And I know a couple of pilots flying out of there, but I don't know, I didn't get my official membership or anything yet, so I'm still waiting for them to cash the check. Cypher would be out in the distance. It's another place I'd like to fly to. Real life. Bristol, Warren area over here. You know anything about the history of this area with the Native Americans? They actually had their chief base here. This is where their main tribe lived back in the day, in the 1600s. They had people from the north. But that is Mount Hope. The Newport Valley in the distance. Coming up on my neighborhood. Ah, good fixes. I don't know if you've been here the whole time, but thank you for dropping that. Did it pop up at all? Dude, weird things are afoot on this thing tonight. Oh, cool. Alright, cool. Well, I'm glad it came up because I wasn't sure. But we're coming up where I'm broadcasting from right now. That'd be Dayton, Massachusetts, this area right here. That's all I'm going to say about that. Don't go be stalking me or anything. We got the Swansea Mall, which is no longer open here. All the malls are closing around here. Fall River in the distance. We're just about done tonight. We have to go past Taunton and then right to Plymouth, so not much left. We have to start a descent when we get to around Taunton too as well. So where were you flying and what were you flying? How weird is this? I turn to the right, my yoke goes to the left on the screen. So I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, cool. Key West. We did that in our Around the USA flights with the 172 earlier last summer. I like that area. So, can I do a loop? Is there a tip attached to that loop? I don't know. Last time I did some stuff here, kind of went crazy. I don't know. What will we give for a loop? Oh, that's cool. They still have NDBs down there? It's being funny. It's being funny. They don't even have that in the private pilot written anymore because of them retiring NDBs. Well, better than I am. I have to get on that stuff. I have to start, you know, as we get towards summer, I have to start looking over that so I can be a little informed of what I'm about to do before I do it this summer, hopefully. But, so War the Killer. Am I gonna do a loop? I don't know. I do not know if I'm going to do a loop.
I want to do barrel rolls and loop-the-loops, all that kind of stuff. We don't do that kind of flying here.
Alright.
Dale, en la otra quedamos en segundo lugar. Acuérdate que siempre que jugamos es primero.
I'll tell you what. Because you followed, I will do a quick loop for you, even though this is not realistic at all, what I'm about to do. Are we ready, people? We're going to do a loop. For War the Killer, thank you for following. Here we go. We're going to decrease, we're going to put carpet on. Decrease this, get this thing going. Pull back. Full throttle.
Got a bad feeling about
Oh, this is bad. This is bad, no doubt. It's bad. Just don't overstress the airplane. And a loop. I don't know if it's got a loop. It's very hard to loop this thing. We're stalling, and we're good. Well, I will try one more time, War the Killer, but I have to let you know it's very hard to even spin a 152 is hard, which means it spirals. But I will try one more loop for you. All right? Okay, we gotta build up enough speed. That's the issue. It's going down, throttle in. I'll try. We'll see. Try pulling back a little quicker this time. Oh, I think I got it. There you go. There's a loop for you, sir. Right rudder. Back on the throttle really fast. And there you go. Not realistic at all. But I ended up pretty good because you still see Assawampset Pond there, which is my visual to get back to Plymouth. So there you go, sir. War the Killer. I hope you appreciated that loop. Thank you for following me on Twitch. And yeah, we're right over the Taunton River. So if my wife would have seen me from a distance in real life, she'd probably be pooping her pants.
Where's the kaboom?
There's no kaboom because you're dealing with a professional. We didn't lose much altitude either. I mean, I'm about 1,000 feet down, but I don't think that's that bad. All right, let's climb back. Oh, let's climb back up to 5,500. It did, didn't it? Yeah. Yeah. And that wasn't planned. I just leave it on loop and it does its thing, so. All right, I'm going to climb back to 5,500. Well, I'm glad I did. I don't mind entertaining here and there as long as I can make it happen. So, you don't have to be serious all the time. I mean, most of the time I am, but, you know. The last time we did something like that, by the way, you should clip that right now. If you could clip that for me, good fixings. If you know how to do that, clip that. And last time I did that, we were flying back from the Woodstock Festival site, the original Woodstock. And I had some viewers say they wanted me to fly some stunts under a bridge in the Hudson River. So, first they wanted me to do a Sully, and I was like, no, I'm not going to waste a flight. And then I ended up flying underneath the bridge for them and skimming the water. So, occasionally, we can do some crazy things on the Eric Flight Twitch channel. But out there is Taunton. The airport should be coming up off our left. I thought we'd see it by now. This is the air. Oh, there. It's blocked by this thing. This is the now defunct Taunton Silver City Galleria Mall. They're actually tearing that down in the process of it. So, we're climbing back to 5,500. Probably got to start descending pretty soon too, so I don't know why I'm doing that, but that's okay. Make it somewhat realistic. Taunton, Massachusetts, it's you know, it's a little city. It's kind of like if anyone lives in the area, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. Small version of Fall River. So, but War of the Killer, I'm glad that I can make your night a little bit better. All right, we're about 5,500. We'll pull out on the RPMs a little bit. Trim down. Trim up, actually, now that it's going down. All right, we'll just try trimming it until it's even. And get that in there. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. We will post that as a highlight reel eventually. I'll take a look at it after. But I needed one of those anyways. You need to have some fun, you know? That is Taunton Municipal Airport. That is our checkpoint. Seeing that we did that loop-de-loop, it might be a little slower, but that's okay. About 51, 52 minutes. I said 49, so that's not that bad. We should be in Plymouth in about 7 more minutes. That's all we're going to leave it as. It's not a bad flight. Let's get back to Plymouth. Let's start our descent down. And let's get down to 1,150 feet, at least close to it. So we're going to pull back to 2,100 RPMs. Angle down to 500 feet per minute, so we're descending. Or so. And we'll get the Plymouth radios going. The radios aren't working on the visual on the sim today. I don't know what's up with this thing. It was working fine before. But I'm lucky that
Kilo Papa Yankee, Mike on
else
weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 305 at 14. Visibility 9er.
Okay, so I'm thinking 3-3.
Condition clear.
Runway 3-3.
Temperature 14C dew point. 13 C altimeter 3042.
Verify that. Well, this is Taunton winds.
Kilo Papa Yankee, Mike automated weather observation 2000 Zulu. Wind 305 at 14.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say runway 3.
Visibility 9er. Sky condition.
Although I don't think it does the Rex Weather Force winds right still in the sim, so I'm just gonna have to do that. And I never did switch this thing around, so let's see if I'll do it without crashing. Oh, it did. Cool. All right, so there you go. That gives you an idea of how close we are to Plymouth. And we are descending. Pattern altitude is 1,150 feet here in Plymouth. So, and it's non-towered, so what we'll do is we'll call out on the VATSIM Unicom, which is the online air traffic control I'm using tonight, even though no one's on for controllers. And we'll end the night strong. So, thank you for tuning in, everybody. Appreciate it.
You're on guard, Whip.
Wow. Yeah. I'm not even monitoring guard on 121.5, by the way. I probably should be on comm too, but it's all right. I gotta start doing that in the real world all the time because I only do it here and there, you know. But it is a good thing to do. So, all right, coming down from 5,000. We're about 4,850 right now, and we're about 10 miles out from Plymouth. So we'll give a little indication, even though no one's online, where I'm at. So here we go. Plymouth traffic, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, 10 miles to the southwest. We're setting up a 45 for runway 33, Plymouth. Okay. Looks good. What do we got here? Oh, there's the airfield right there. And 45 means a 45-degree angle. We're going to land on this runway right there. So that's where we're going. We're going to come in, go around, turn in there, and then land. Turn in there. I can't even talk anymore. But we have to get down in altitude here, so we'll get there. Again, flying the 152 tonight, it's not the fastest aircraft, but it's what I have the most experience with in real life, so. Yeah! That's cool. No problem, man. Again, you make it entertaining as well, because then I can do clips like that, and I really appreciate you throwing it out there, so. Alright, cool. Thanks, man. Now, yeah, it's always good to call out in distance so you kind of know what's going on. But you should be lucky that he piped up when he was 10 miles out. But, yeah, War the Killer, thank you. Good fixings, thank you as always. And you got the approach going on, so you kind of had to tell him. Yeah. Yeah. In Plymouth, they have an ILS for runway 6, and the 24, there's an approach for that too. So if there are people on that, they'll usually call out, and they're usually a jet, and to be honest with you. They could be like a multi-engine, because I don't know. But they'll call out, and basically you'll be looking for them. But they'll call out way in advance, so you kind of know where they are. And if they're close, I'll usually just extend my downwind or something to let them in, because I don't want to mess up their approach if I can, you know? So, right, 3,500. I'm going to go full rich on the mixture pretty soon. But what I would do is I'd report your position, and if you're closer, just say, you know, hey, would you mind, you know, letting me finish the approach here? Because I think it's easier for an aircraft not on an instrument approach to actually move, you know, or go somewhere full extra. So, just me. Yeah, this looks really realistic compared to real life. Again, cranberry bogs everywhere. Oh, that's not bad then. You should have been fine, right? Plymouth traffic, Cessna Foxtrot 5 miles out on the 45 for runway 33, Plymouth. Full rich. And probably want to get down a little bit more. Again, I think it's a little overpowered still, because it shouldn't be that fast if I'm going 2100, even if I'm at 700. So, yeah. Get one more check on the weather here.
Kilo Papa Yankee, Mike automated weather observation 2100 Zulu. Wind 311 at 5. Visibility 9er. Sky condition clear.
Alright, we're gonna stay at 3-3. Oh, that could always happen too, you know what I mean? And you don't worry about that, you just worry if you have enough time to stick the landing and stuff. Talking about stick the landing. Haven't done that one in a while.
Stick the landing. In this challenge, the pilot will do his best to avoid certain death by keeping
the
on
no,
a
that's
good
not
flight
good.
Path with
That's
a
not
constant angle descent lined up to center line.
Okay, I'm not liking my descent here, I'll
Stick
tell you
the
that.
landing and don't suck.
Okay, carb heat on. I'm gonna pull this out. I'm just gonna slide in here. Carb heat's supposed to be on, thank you. Anything below 2,100, you typically want to keep that on. That's why the green's there. So anything outside the green, you want carb heat if possible. Well, you know, there's realism settings. So could it happen? Yeah, if you know what you're doing. Would you want to do that in real life? No. I think that's the way it is. But I fly mostly general aviation aircraft now. I gave up on the airliners a long time ago. And that's because I came a real pilot that flies general aviation aircraft. But you could, you know, you'd have to know what you're doing. Like I started with the throttle out, went down, kicked the throttle in to keep it up. So, yeah, you definitely want to be at a good altitude. All right, we're turning downwind here for runway 33. Pick up the the speed here. We're about, oh, 1,100. Yeah, so we were be about 1,150, but we're looking pretty good. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, left downwind to runway 33, Plymouth. All right, looking good. Right about here at the run-up area, I like to start my ultimate descent. I still have carpet on, so we'll just go to 1,700. And we're below 80, so 10 degrees of flaps to slow us down a little bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we start our descent, please make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright position. Make sure your seat belt is securely fastened, and all carry-on luggage is stowed safely and securely in the aircraft. Thank you.
On the left, turn left base. Okay, my controls have been a little bit weird tonight, so. How's that going? Yeah. In real life, I'm going to start trying to fly the Piper in May, just to get another aircraft going. So, see how that goes. But I've been told it's a really nice aircraft to fly, the Pipers themselves. So. Alright, going to go back to 1,500 and with the 10 degrees of flaps. We're at 20, looking pretty good. This is a real golf course in real life too. This is kind of what it looks like. These trees are a hazard because the wind keeps blowing over them and it can mess up your landing right at the end there. So, alright, we're going to turn final. Want to be about 70 knots here. Yep. I'm kind of holding up from buying a couple things for the near future just to save money. So it's not that I don't have money saved, it's I want to save more money. So, alright, we're on final. Kick it down a little bit. We're descending a little too fast. I'm going to put the final thing that flaps in. Throttles out. Again, in real life, the wind can come whipping across these trees and it can get really turbulent right here. So we usually aim for this marker for landing. We'll see what happens here. We want to land in about 60 knots. So full flaps, just a double check. Looking good.
Coming in too hot.
Oh, don't start. Don't start. You always start that. Every single landing. You don't even let me have one landing without it.
Keep your eyes on the far end.
Right, there we go. Leveling out. Pull back.
Watch your stall speed.
Oh, a little flat, but we made it happen. The name of the song that's playing, I just picked a bunch of copyright-free music, but this is Fly Me to the Moon, and it's a copyright-free version. See, my rudders aren't working that well. Alright, so I'm going to go to the next one. After recalibrator, I think there's something wrong with it. So it's Fly Me to the Moon, made famous by Frank Sinatra, by the way. But this was a, again, copyright-free version, and I thought it was well done. As a music teacher, I can say that. So, alright, carb heat off. Flaps are up. I should have went that way. My rudders aren't going to work now, so we're all good. There we go. We made it, everyone. Oh, my Lord. Ah, it's going to be a perfect stream on the next one. Alright, let's clear the runway here. And then we'll call out. Flaps should be up. Carb heat's off. Trim set for takeoff. Plymouth traffic, Cessna Echo Foxtrot, clear of runway 33, Plymouth. And trim is set for takeoff. There we go. And we're good to taxi back. And we'll taxi back to right around where my flight school is, where I rent all my wonderful aircraft. Again, thank you for joining me tonight on this flight here, Plymouth. I wish my controls, excuse me. I wish my controls were working better. Like, I turned to the right, and now the yoke's not moving at all. Do you see that? That is weird, man. I'm turning right and left, and the yoke's not turning at all. So, well, thank you. You know, again, I wish the radio actually worked like it's supposed to, and I had no problems with it earlier today. So I did a little test flight this afternoon after I got done with work, and I was really excited. But I don't know, for the stream, it kind of pooped out. So, all right. So used to flying in this airport, I know where I'm going, which is the good news. My flight school in real life is this building right here. This would be the maintenance hangar. This is the flight school, and this is the hangar just to store planes and other people's planes. So, but again, some interesting things. If you ever go to Plymouth and fly on the airport, you'll see a jet over here sometimes. I think it's still there. That's Bill Cosby's old private jet. Again, the running joke between me and my instructor was imagine the things that plane has seen with Bill Cosby. That's all I'm saying. Jello. All right, I'm gonna take a right turn here. And take a look on the right here if my rudders actually work. Clear. We're going to turn to the left to make sure we're clear there before we cross this runway. That's what we do in the real life. Of course, the rudders work a lot better in real life. We're just going to call it clear. Plymouth traffic, Cessna 9 Echo Foxtrot, crossing 624 at Kilo. This is Kilo, Plymouth. Kilo in real life, not Charlie. So someone should fix these things. And we're going to pull right in front of this flight school here. The planes usually don't park this way. In real life, we park the other way. Horizontally, this way, not this way. But we'll go with it. And there is no fuel right there. There's actually a fuel truck that drives down from over here, and they deliver the fuel right to the planes. So, all right, we gotta make sure these rudders are kind of working. Going really slow. Pull it in over here. Nope, not over here. Where am I gonna pull this thing in? All right, let's go right in front of the flight school then. No, that's actually a picture of the cockpit. Basically what I do is I did this. I zoomed out with various controls, took a picture of it, went to Photoshop, took out the scenery that was in the picture here in the windows, just made that transparent, and then I have a video of the actual sim flying. I took a picture of that, just the clouds and stuff, the backward view, if you will, while flying. So it makes you look like I'm flying in the real cockpit of the plane. But yeah, I worked on those. So thank you, man. And then this is a virtual background. I use it for work and also for play, obviously. And I have all different backgrounds for the airplanes I fly. But anyways, we're about to shut this down here. So after landing checklist, I'll show you what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at my real world 152 checklist. There you go. Flaps are up. Should be at 1,000 here on the RPMs. Thank you. I'll keep that engine going. Carb heat off. Strobes are off. I never did turn off the strobes. That's okay. Lights as required, so I'm going to turn off all lights except for beacon. Trim set for takeoff. Did that. Securing, which means we're parking. ELT verify silent. I would listen to guard.
You're on guard with...
Which sounds silent, except for a cat. No kidding. So we listen to that, make sure that there's no transmitting going on. Avionics are going off. You'd have to turn them off manually, because there's no master aviation switch here in the 152. Hopefully this turns off. So we'll see. Let me see if I can get this button to actually turn here. There we go. That's how you do it. Then you turn off your transponder. Very good. Mixture is going to be full lean. Everything's off except for beacon. Okay, good. Beacon means the engine's still on. All right. Lean out the mixture. It's going to stop the plane. Prop off. Mags off. Master off. Beacon off. And we usually don't use the parking brake because that's hydraulic. And if you have a hole in the hydraulics, it's going to be a bad day for brakes. But yeah, I don't know. The model's doing some weird stuff here. Maybe it's the new update. I don't know. But we'll put the parking brake on anyways. There you go. And that's it. We're at Plymouth, Massachusetts. Take the drone up for a ride. Hopefully the sim won't crash or anything like that. I think it's been doing pretty good. I did have one problem with the stream tonight. And then I changed the setting to not upscale the output to 1080p. So I guess we're just going to have to do that from now on. But here's Plymouth Airport with the drone view. And yeah, that looks very representative. This is the old terminal, though. They have a new terminal building, and it doesn't look like that at all. That's very generic. An old campground I used to go to as a kid over here. This is a pond I used to swim in. And then downtown Plymouth again is out over here. My first flight in an aircraft before I started training, just for fun, I did a discovery flight, and they flew out here to the harbor. And it's kind of fun now that I can fly out here whenever I want to, whenever I rent a plane, so that's pretty cool. But Plymouth is known for the Pilgrims. Came from England. They docked the Mayflower right here, and then they took a little boat over. Oh, no! I made it go back to the airport. No, bad. Bad. I'll try to go back there, because I always show people this when I fly into Plymouth. Okay, come on. Increase the speed of the drone. No one wants to wait here for 5 million years. There we go. Alright, try to make it go even faster. Come on, go faster. Must go faster. But the Pilgrims, they put the Mayflower right off that sandbar. And then they came in on a little boat right about here. This little building here, again, is where Plymouth Rock is. That's supposedly the first rock the Pilgrims landed on. They have a big stone in there with 1620 on it. And then this is the road where the Pilgrims lived, Leyden Street. This is the, well, at least what it looks like the simulator. This is where the old church is. And it was also a fort back then. Then they rebuilt it like 3 times or something like that. This is a burial hill with Pilgrim bodies in it. This is another cemetery for Pilgrims. They didn't want the Native Americans to know how many were left, so they buried them here secretly. And they met the Indians right here. This is where they got their fresh water from, and that's where they met the Indians on the other side of the bank. So, yeah. But, War the Killer, well, thank you very much for making it interesting tonight, and thank you for following. And without further ado, then, we're going to call the end of this stream here. So, yeah, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate everyone that did come in over the time of the flight here. And I hope to see you again. Again, I try to stream twice a week, but I do have a family and kids and a wife and everything, so sometimes that comes a little hard. But we try our best, and we do our best. And thank you to Good Fixins and everybody else, everyone in the Virtual USA Flying Club who showed up. This thing's going weird anyway, so we're gonna have to call it. Look at this. What's wrong with these yokes? That's crazy. So yeah, it's gonna have to go in for maintenance. But anyways. Appreciate all the support. Thank you very much.
Oh, drat these computers.
It's not the computer, it's the plane.
So complex.
And we're going to try raiding another stream. I don't know which stream yet, but stay tuned if you'd like to raid with that. So have a great night. We'll see you soon. After the Flying Monkey's done, because I want Good Fixins to get it. All right, Good Fixins, thank you for your help tonight.